Oh, that's super cute. I'm trying to decide what to put on my nails.
What are your options?
So many options.
Of course.
I mean, so I don't know if you can see. This is just some of my stamping plates, right? I
Hold
mean,
on. Let me
just
try. Oh, there you are. Oh, whoa!
that's
You got like
just
a book full.
that's just some. I mean, that's just some. That's not. Um, that's not all of these, and all of
Yeah.
these.
I would definitely be paralyzed by choice.
I know. I call it constipolished. All of those. So I have so many stamping choices. And then part of me says maybe I should just do vinyl stencils or decals. Like, or maybe 3D art, or maybe
Oh my gosh. Or like the printer thing that says NECAD. Like
oh my god, no. That thing that you can see the dots in that. Hold on, I'm trying not to cause a situation here, but I wanted to show you. I mean, these are my 3D elements. I don't know if I
Hold
can
on.
show you.
For some reason, I lost
Well, if you get reconnected,
everybody.
I'll hold it
Yeah.
here.
Okay, I'll let you know if the videos come back up for me.
I see Kaga came back, so maybe you'll come back too.
We have a Felix. Yeah,
you
dude, I don't know
do.
why mine's. I
I
don't know why I
mean,
don't have you. I'm gonna try reloading roll 20.
there you go. Because when you see this, you're just gonna be like, Leah, this is ridiculous.
That's
You
usually our response.
You're gonna be like, you need serious help. I mean, I don't. This is just like rhinestones and metal studs.
Thank you. No, thank you. I'm good.
This is like rhinestones and metal studs and other 3D elements, gem, polymer clay slices,
Jeez.
decorative powders. Yeah, those change like the finish of the polish. Like you can add like a multi-chrome finish.
Oh,
Or
okay,
hollow.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I got a couple of hollow powders, so you can make it mega hollow.
So we have Aaliyah's nail chat room, and we're going to talk about it on voice now.
Well, it was just me and Casta, so you know what? I was sitting here lamenting about how I needed to, and I said I have so many choices, and so I showed her my plate collection. She said, "Oh God,
Dude, it's yeah, I can definitely understand being paralyzed with choice by that.
Well, I mean, not to mention the 600 bottles of nail polish. Okay, so you know
Yeah.
that doesn't even count how much nail polish I have. I mean, this is just the decoration option."
That's ridiculous.
I know. I'm not saying that it's not ridiculous. Please
I have,
understand.
yeah,
When-
I have no idea why I can't see you, Leah.
I don't know either. It's all right.
Maybe if Cog shows back up, I'll make him see if he can figure out why.
Yeah. I cannot decide also which tea to drink. So there's that. I don't know if I don't want to do my last chai.
Leah's full of first world problems tonight.
I really am. You just don't know.
Well,
Meanwhile,
I just heard
Felix
at least
is-
a couple of them.
Meanwhile, Felix is like, I'm eating Cheetos for dinner.
Yeah, I know. Poor Felix. Seriously. I feel for you on that one.
I ate about 600 tater tots, so I should be good.
No.
Tater tots.
Hold on, I have to put on long sleeves because apparently Cog has decided to be like, oh man. Oh wait, there we go. It's super cold. I'll be right back.
I have decided on a T. I still have not decided on a nail art idea.
Whoa, that's too loud.
I don't want anything that's gonna be. Could work.
Okay. Yeah, I still can't see Leah. I'll restart again.
Testing.
Hi,
We
Tag.
hear you.
Hi.
Do you hear yourself?
No, I can't hear myself.
Oh, good.
Look, there we go. There's some choices.
We don't hear you twice, so.
I was looking to see how well they show up on the video. Kind of like probably like, why is Leah showing a stamping?
I still can't see Leah. I just don't get Leah tonight.
She's
That's
all
not-
mine.
Here, I'll reconnect.
I'm
Maybe it'll be-
sorry.
If you just
I don't
refresh
know
the
what's up.
screen.
Well, it might be me. I mean, maybe it came back.
Cog can see you. I went to his
Look.
computer to
Now
check.
I can see you. See, I couldn't see you.
Oh, I can see you! There we go. Okay.
Yeah, look.
Yay!
So, what do you think about mermaid scales?
They
That
suck.
would be super cute.
They aren't real.
I'm a mermaid skill fan.
I can't decide between that or something flowery.
Fake news.
Like,
All fake news.
fake news? What do you mean fake news?
Mermaids. Oh, this is good. I may just roleplay like this from now on.
Like leaning back on the couch with your coffee.
I mean,
Oh my
seriously,
gosh.
why are you not already? I mean, I'd be comfortable for crying out loud.
I already feel fantastic.
I think we established pretty early on that like family night uniform standards are low. So
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm not. Oh, there's so many
Oh.
choices.
I'll probably snack in a little bit.
I could always do Gallifreyan.
Gallifreyan.
that would be cool.
What is
Yeah,
that?
Cog. Jeez, you guys.
Where
And
is
or
everyone?
Elven. Let's see if I can get you to see it. Focus. I don't know if you can see it, but also Elvish. Right there.
Let me see. Ooh.
Also, do you watch Sherlock? Have you ever watched Sherlock?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he does look like. What did you do again? Oh my lord!
He is
Oh,
savoring the post-op vacation.
I also have steampunk stuff and skull stuff. Oh my god, I can't decide.
The answer
Oh my
is take notes instead of painting your nails.
Listen, I was actually thinking about it because I was like doing my review and I was like, wow, you guys discovered a lot of stuff last time and you didn't take notes on any of it.
We're lazy
Well,
because
we
we have
have-
the video recording.
I mean, yeah, and not only that, Felix actually goes back and listens to it to make sure he doesn't miss anything. So, I think we're good.
No,
Felix
so
is dedicated.
I actually only went back and listened to us interrogating the orc, which I totally realized we messed up big time.
No shit.
Yeah, that's because we were distracted because half of the party was wandering in the swamp.
Well,
That's
if
true,
you would have
there's
just
Davy and
followed
No.
us,
Up, back up. Oh, God, stop. Oh, God, I'm tangled.
Had you done what you were supposed to do, they
Oh, my
wouldn't
gosh.
be.
Appa, go. What I
I
was
can put her in
supposed to
here.
do was do the logical thing.
nah, that's
No.
boring.
Look at his chair. Is that not terrible?
Where
it
is it?
has little
I can.
Whoa.
bits
Tab needs a new
everywhere.
chair.
It's killing
Oh
me.
no!
That has
Yep.
got to go.
Family has voted. It is new chair time. Dude,
Just-
they have really
Yes.
comfortable IKEA ones.
If you
Hold on.
just tape the top of it, it's fine.
Oh my god, no.
Oh, Cog. Listen, we all know we don't take Cog's advice.
I suggested
We
just
all-
putting duct tape over it, it'll be fine, but that was not
Okay.
popular apparently.
No,
that was
it's
that was
not
also
fine.
Cag's suggestion. I would just like to point out.
Okay, so
Great minds.
this one, super comfortable, and it's Swedish.
Yeah,
So, like, win-win.
yeah. I was debating that. I have to have it shipped.
Oh.
You guys don't have an IKEA near you? Oh, I
It's
love
like
you
4
so
hours
much.
away. It's the closest one.
Please go
Yeah.
away. Go away.
I don't want to go away.
Don't tell us to go away. That's
I'm not on camera yet. You can't be on camera.
That was
Go away.
really rude.
Yeah, I guess I would wear her out eventually.
You could.
Mhm.
Oh, he's not listening.
Go.
You could put the
Shoot.
laser on for
Yeah,
her.
that's what Mom's doing.
You have my child too.
I don't see Felix. Felix, have you turned on your camera yet?
I see Felix.
Yeah.
I see
Are we
Felix.
doing a talk show tonight or something instead of playing?
I don't see
Because
Honey
that's what Gag
though.
looks like. He's ready.
Right, with his recline.
This is like the way. Like this may be the spot for me from now on. You'll be able to tell how tired I am by how horizontal I go.
And that would not be good because
Listen.
sleep again.
last time I played on the couch, I legit fell asleep. So you will be watched. We have cameras now.
That's so funny.
You're being watched, Kega.
Oh, I haven't heard from Sesneg like all week, so we'll see.
Say a few things here and there, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been as active in chat. I've been helping
away.
my mom house shop.
Go
so
away.
I've missed a lot.
Go away.
my parents got evacuated,
Are
so
you
we're
talking to the dog or
Go
the
away.
child?
to see.
No, you can't say hi. Go away.
Hi.
Hi.
Nobody will see you.
We lost Casta.
Yeah, I'm reloading because I only had half of family.
There you go.
I only had a couple people.
He
There
didn't
we
have anybody but Kega, so he waved
Yeah.
to you though.
No.
Mm.
Oh,
No, we're
I have
all here.
everybody.
I have
I've got everybody but Leah.
I see Casta, but Leah is not.
Yeah, I don't see Leah, so it's okay.
I don't have
Um,
Davi or Yola.
I don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
you.
I'm here. I can see everybody literally. Oh
reconnecting.
no, now I can't see Davi.
Oh, I got
every-
Davi.
I see
I got
everybody. Yay!
Yay!
I'm just missing your lid.
Yeah.
Let me try reloading one more time.
No.
Yeah, I don't have
so-
Leah, so I'm not
Make
worth it.
Leah restart.
Well,
I
how are
already
you-
did.
Go to the little cog and
I already
go
did.
connect.
It's okay.
I
We
did
don't need
multiple
Leah.
times.
That was all my ideas. Sorry.
Yeah, I already done it like a couple times, but I had just refreshed and I got everybody back, and now I don't have Casta.
Well, I'm refreshing. Yeah, I got everybody. Okay.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Let me refresh.
What?
Here we go. Here we go.
How are your parents doing then? Are they okay? Honey?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
They
I
are.
just, you know.
They're at my aunt's house in southern
Okay.
Arkansas, down by El Dorado. And
Jeez.
they were voluntarily evacuated. One of the levees broke in my hometown, partially, and so they're trying to shore it up, but they're expecting more rain. And if they get
Yeah.
more rain, they're afraid that the levee will go. And if the levee goes, then it's going to flood their neighborhood for sure. It'll get my grandmother's house, and it might or might not get their house, but it will definitely block them in.
Man. Well,
So
I'm
they
glad they
decided that was for the
evacuated.
birds, and they're leaving. So they
Yeah, I'm glad they made,
I'm
you know, I
glad
mean, I
that-
know it's what's the word? Yeah, it's inconvenient to evacuate, but
Well, and they're because of the way the lock and dam and the levee and all the issues they're having, they can't let enough water through the lock and dam, so it was actually making the river flow backwards, which was backing up into
Jeez.
Cadron Creek, which is near my parents' house, and that's what would actually flood them is not the river but Cadron Creek.
wow.
So, yeah, so
You guys
There's
are
that.
you're
we got
cutting
through all
down-
the floods here and dealt with all that, and now it's there, and I'm
Oh
glad I
my
have nobody
gosh.
else further downstream on the Mississippi because it's probably going to flood next.
Yeah, just keep going. Jeez. Yep.
So-
Well, it's an exciting month.
Yeah.
My dog.
You got to get him a laser.
I'm gonna give him something.
Okay. So, recap then.
Hang on,
Okay.
real quick.
Yes.
I may or may not have written a limerick earlier today.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
Oh my god.
Are we doing our opening advertisements? Is that what's happening right now?
No, just
D&D Beyond.
So the first disclaimer is that I'm not a poet in any way, but I was listening to.
I think
an
writing
episode of
poetry
Critical
makes you actually a poet.
Well,
That's the only standard.
Okay, you guys can be the judge then, but I want to tell you about this Beau. He has some kids, and my do they grow. His wife had him bettered, his vast efferents is severed, so now his sperm has nowhere to go.
Yes.
And that's how Jacobus got level 6.
You are my favorite person ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh, you're using the wolf cup. Yay.
This is my whiskey cup.
Are all other cups dirty?
No. This is my coffee cup.
Oh, okay. This is going to be an interesting night. Okay. Well, at least you're off the painkillers as you take down the whiskey. So
Am I?
we'll find out.
Dissolve those in the cup first.
On this episode,
I'm actually really curious how Casta is going to summarize Davi and Yurlith being really, really dumb.
Oh,
Excuse me. We're not dumb.
so
lacking.
wasn't smart.
To be politically correct, we'll say lacking forethought.
since the party is all one big happy family. What would you last week?
I was being true to my character. Thank you very much.
That's unfortunate.
So, oh my gosh, listen.
See if I cure you of lycanthropy next time. You go off and be your little wolf thing and turn into some weird thing, and then we'll have to hunt you down and kill your ass.
Oh my goodness. So, anyway, last time you guys picked up after you had destroyed one of the orc camp that you encountered. You headed off back into the swamp with Yurlith and Kag and Davi to kind of make sure you went a safe route, and Urinin to guide the general direction. You came across an orc corpse that had obviously been floating in the swamp for some time, and you discovered that a portion of it had been devoured. After that, you guys caught wind of some activity thanks to Stick that was kind of like over a ways, and there you encountered another band of orcs who bared the same markings as the ones you'd previously found. And they were being attacked by some blue creatures and then this other orcish undead. A bit of questioning and analysis led you to realize that the blue creatures were ghouls, which are cannibalistic undead, and then the orcish creature was a revenant. You guys followed the revenant, or attempted to, but unfortunately you did lose the trail, being that swamp is a little bit difficult to track in. And Urinin in the meantime did mention that he had to get back, or he wasn't going to go in that direction because he did need to get to the Swamp Rose for business. You guys did find out from the orc that the orcs and the demons appear to potentially be working together in some manner. You then, kind of followed a land bridge, went across a little bit of a pier, and there Jacobus was attacked by 2 water elementals, though they dispersed once he fell. After that, you found Urinin actually, kind of called out and was like, hey, cut it out. And you were greeted by 2 cranes who explained that they weren't trying to hinder anyone, that they were trying to guard the swamp from Dorsane the Blasphemous. Urinin requested aid in making it quickly to Swamp Rose, seeming to, kind of grow tired of the holdups in the journey. And you guys acquired a flat boat from a rat. That made the rest of it pretty easy. You kind of long poled your way along, made it to this really run down, murky swamp town, the Swamp Rose. And there you guys, just kind of found a little bit of a pier, docked, and Yernan hopped out and took off towards a tavern. You guys followed, discovered that the tavern is called the Tipsy Crane. And we left off where you had just walked inside, to find that it was a very dank kind of tavern. It smelled like alcohol and mildew. The floorboards actually seem to be a little bit waterlogged, and they groan under your weight as you enter. The furnishings and the decorations are both very sparse and kind of discolored and old looking. And the inn is actually empty and silent. It's devoid of any life aside from this small goblin behind the counter who actually chokes on his mug as he sees you come in. He kind of stands up straight, and he's like, Huntsman, what an honor. What brings you to these parts? Nernan, who you notice at this point, has actually begun to grow a little flushed, like around the neck, and his posture is a lot more rigid and just very tense. He looks at the goblin and he says, answer their questions. He just kind of moves to the side to let you guys enter the inn.
I guess we should figure out if we have questions, huh?
Well, I mean, I think that we should let Leo take the lead on the questioning since at least him and Jackie, they've been doing the most studying.
Have I? Can I roll for that?
I mean,
do we even know why we're here? Didn't you're gonna say let's go here, and we don't know sure why?
Well, he has something to do here because there's some
Plus
oathbreaker or something that he's hunting. But we're here because there are.
This is a known place where thinning happened between the plains because they used to travel the plains.
There's been demon sightings or something.
And there's been demon sightings too.
So the goblin, as you guys enter, kind of looks to you. He's like, well, welcome. This is the Tipsy Crane. I'm the owner of this mediocre establishment. Is there anything I can help you guys with?
Yeah.
Yeah?
First of all, I think we're going to need a round of drinks. What do you have?
I mean, I got a little bit of my private storage left. I don't got a whole lot, but I mean, sure, yeah, I can help you out. And he kind of goes under and he starts.
What kind of tavern is this?
It's I don't know if you've noticed, but it's not much of one anymore. And pretty much everybody's taken off. So, kind of leans down under the counter and disappears, and you hear him rustling around a little bit.
So,
where have the people gone?
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about while he's under there.
Anywhere but here, honestly. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed. I mean, you got here, so you went through the swamp. You know everything that's going on out there, and nobody really wants to be here anymore. Which, I mean, if we're being honest, everything's been kind of dying before that anyway. It hasn't really been a bustling place in several years. So I think everybody just getting assaulted by ghosts or undead or orcs every time they step outside their front door. I mean, well, would you want to be here?
No, I can't say that I would.
It's charming in its own way. It's quaint is maybe the word I would
Fearless
use.
is gonna look dumbfounded at
He kind of picks up and looks at you, Kak, and goes, "No, it's not."
Don't make me roll persuasion. Don't make me roll persuasion.
Make him roll persuasion.
Hey.
Bullshit.
So
roll persuasion 25 DC.
So why exactly are people moving out of here? I mean, we've seen a little bit of what's going on with the ghosts, but they seem to be a permanent fixture from what I understand.
I mean, yeah, they kind of are and they aren't. I haven't been here as long as most, but I can tell you what I've heard. So, for as long as I've been here, you get ghosts every now and then, but I mean, they've never been in this number before. This is crazy.
Oh.
So, this town, it used to thrive on, like artifacts and stuff. It used to be pretty easy for people to find holes and slip into the material plane and, come back. And let me tell you something, these Feywild people, they eat it up. You give them a fork and they're like, oh, look at the fork. It's so cute. Look at what the little human made. And I mean, they're kind of dicks about it, if I'm being honest, but whatever. It makes money. I don't care, So we sell them stuff. But yeah, lately well, not lately. I'm told that for a while the holes have been kind of filling in or something. Like people can't get over as much. I don't know. Some people think that something happened on the material plane that made it harder. Anyway, that's never been my thing. I just run the tavern. But we started having less artifacts, so people stopped coming. And I mean, we still export stuff. Like they use some of the wood for ships and like peat for fires. But I mean, really, do you want to spend your life in a swamp harvesting peat your whole life? Because I don't, So the town's been dying for a while. And then all the undead just like started, coming up and the orcs, and people were just like, why am I even here? And I mean, I've been asking that ever since I got here, but apparently for some people it takes a little bit more to push you along. So
Is there anyone still around that's been over to the material plane to collect artifacts?
yeah, my uncle Klex, he's actually the reason why I'm still here.
Okay. Do you know where is he at home, or is he able to,
He's got a shop. Yeah, he's got a shop. It's probably and by this point he's kind of like pulled out all of these mugs, and they've got this it's alcohol, but it's definitely got kind of like a grayish look to it, and it's a little pungent in the smell. It reminds you a little bit of like the mushroom alcohol you encountered in the Underdark. Not the most appetizing thing you've seen, but he puts up, enough mugs for everybody. Yeah, his shop's actually just like right across the way over here. It's not much of a shop anymore, if I'm honest with you. Like I said, he's I mean, everybody who's left, they took everything they could find, and he hasn't gotten stuff in years. So, but he's there. So, and so am I, because I mean, he's my uncle, so he won't leave. And I don't know. I guess I'm getting soft.
Someone jog my memory. What's the name of this inn?
Tipsy
The
Crane.
swamp, Tipsy Crane. Yeah, I knew it was swamp or crane something.
The Swamp Rose was a town.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Chad, can you turn the TV down a little bit?
That's actually your mom's
The other
iPad.
thing. Sorry.
Wait, are you hearing it through my mic?
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, let me turn down the background noise. Doop doop doop. Sorry. Elevator music.
Intermission.
It got quiet.
Well, I mean,
Yay!
I don't know what
Can you
else.
hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
How about now?
Yes. Okay.
And now,
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
that is the reaction
Wanna run away
I
again?
always expect. All right. So, what's your uncle's name one more time?
Klex.
Klex.
Mhm.
Where the hell is my notepad? Klex. What does your uncle sell? Is it more artifacts and?
I mean, I don't know if I'd call them artifacts. I mean, maybe I'm being presumptuous here, but looking at your group, I'm assuming that you're not from around here, I mean, he'd bring like a doll. It doesn't have to be anything. The same kind of stuff you normally steal from humans. It was, you just go over and you get something and you bring it over here and you say, look at this amazing doll. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's so, like, bad and it's cool and humans can't do anything right. I'll pay you whatever you want for it. It was really weird, but
Okay.
I guess people get used to it.
No. I adjusted the sensitivity. Okay. So, I'm gonna kind of look around and make sure, like, I'm not hogging the conversation here. Does anyone else seem interested? Wait, did he give us drinks?
Yes.
What is
They
it?
are they're gray. They look kind of like murky swamp water. They have a little bit of the same fermentation scent that like the mushroom kind of stuff of the Underdark did. I mean, it's alcoholic. You can tell it's alcoholic, but it's not the most appealing drink that you've ever seen.
So closer to paint thinner than bourbon.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna avoid it.
All right, I'm gonna take a bold sip.
Ugh.
It is very bitter. It's not very strong, and it definitely has kind of like the almost like overly sweet aftertones of like rotten fruit.
Wow.
It's you could you imagine that the more you drink, probably the easier it would get to stomach.
That's
But
got some
Davi will
depth.
take one sniff and be like, You got a clean glass.
Wow.
Pull out her own and pour it.
He takes out a glass. He
So
takes out a glass for you.
so this
He's
is
like, listen, I'm not offended.
Try this. She'll pour
He
him
takes
a glass.
yours. He takes a swig. He's like, oh, you have no idea how long it's been since I had anything decent. That is good stuff.
I make it.
Oh gosh, to work somewhere where that was possible. You're talented. You're a talented woman.
I like you.
Dobby likes everybody.
going to a great length refrain from making any comments about being lost in the swamp.
Oh my god.
I wasn't
So-
lost. I got back just fine. Thank you.
It's all about the way you define it.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm gonna ask him. So what have people been saying about the undead coming back? You said that they weren't as great in number before.
Yeah,
But have there been any other strange sightings besides the ghosts?
I mean the orcs or like the skeleton people things wandering around. I mean, how did
skeleton
you
people?
get? I don't know. They're like dead. Listen, I don't do the magic thing. Like I was raised, like working a tavern. I've done this my whole life. That's not really my thing,
Well, yeah, but you would think that a skilled tavern keeper such as yourself would be the center point of every set of rumors that this town could muster.
And I mean, that's true, but you seem surprised by the skeletons, and I'm surprised that you made it through the swamp without encountering under those dead freaks, Like, they're everywhere,
I mean,
As for why?
Go
I mean,
on.
I don't know. We know that, so I've heard that the spirits have something to do with, like, a battle. Like, I mean, if you go to them, like, the ghosts are usually pretty nice. I mean, it's kind of weird. And, you ever be somewhere and, like, you're walking and you really just want to get your job done, but somebody keeps stopping to talk to you and you're like, go away so that I can just do what I'm here to do. That's kind of what the ghosts are like for us most of the time. Like, you don't see a lot of them. You see one every couple weeks or so, and they're always like, hey, have you seen my horse? And you're like, no, go away. But they're pretty much harmless. And we do know, like, from talking to them that there was, like, some battle a long time ago with orcs. And I mean, there are probably people who are into history and that kind of thing, and they know more about it. I just kind of listen to the weird things that happen, like some people have gotten hit on by them. It's weird. Anyway, so they were fighting orcs, and then now they're all here. Some people think that they all showed back up because there are orcs here now. Like, maybe they're like, oh, the orcs are back, we have to fight them, because, like, some people said they saw them fighting them. I don't know, but that's as for like how they got here. Why? I mean, it's the Feywild. Like, I don't understand. It hasn't been night like since I was like ever. So I don't know. It's a weird place. I don't ask a lot of questions.
All right. Who else is still in town that hasn't taken off?
My uncle is the only person I know of.
Really?
It's just
Really.
you and your uncle in this whole town.
It's just me and my uncle. I wouldn't call it much of a town anymore. I mean, I love the guy, but all he does is drink these days. I don't know. I don't know why. He's been really depressed. It's like
He
he's got
drinks
nothing.
that stuff?
He does.
Well,
Well, no
that's
wonder
one
he's
explanation for
depressed.
depression.
Yeah.
It's like he's got nothing to live for anymore. And I mean, he's been going downhill for a while. He loved, venturing out and getting artifacts and stuff, and all that's kind of been falling apart. So I kind of think he's just waiting to die here. Been his home forever. And I mean, honestly, with the way he's going, it probably won't be long. So I'm just kind of trying to look after the guy for as long as he needs, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here too.
So then, is there anyone who was here that was particularly knowledgeable, or, seemed to be a little more versed in magic or the area?
Or anybody in the area.
There wasn't really anybody. For the most part, people here are just kind of working class, like they harvest peat or they harvest wood or they make boats, like, I mean, we had people who came through a lot, people who visited. Well, I mean, not a lot anymore, but sometimes, like especially the like snooty Eldrin type, looking to decorate their houses with stuff. But I mean, here it's always been kind of small, like mostly goblins, and we're just like, all kind of just trying to get by, trying to feed your family and make a living. And, nobody's no magician, every now and then you get like a priest that would pass through, but I don't know. None of us are really, into the elven gods or anything. So, we were just polite to them and they went on their way, but I don't know.
I'm gonna look over. What's Iernan doing?
He is actually standing against a wall and he has his arms crossed and he is looking at the floor, and you can tell. Well, roll a perception check.
Perception.
I mean, how much do we trust what this guy's saying?
Or insight.
Do I have
Depending
a
upon.
choice?
It depends upon how much you're trying to read into him. If you really want to try to read into him, I would roll insight.
That's a terrible roll.
He looks really tense.
Wait,
He
my
looks
3D dice
Why
does
does
not
it-
match
You
my.
want to say 2 and then you rolled an 18.
I saw 18 on my screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
my,
see an 18.
my 3D dice rolled a 2, but I rolled an 18.
I see a 2.
No, I saw 18 on your 3D dice.
Yeah, I see
Weird.
18 too.
Whatever.
So-
We're going
I
with
see
the
a 2.
18.
Give him a 2.
He is fuming. You can tell from just like his body posture is a lot more tense. He has his arms crossed, his head down, and he is just kind of this ball of stress right now as he kind of keeps to himself and lets you guys do your business.
I have a question. How much do we trust Klex is saying about him and his uncle being the only people around?
Can I do an insight check on the goblin?
Oh, hold on. Did I lose people?
Hello?
Hello?
Say something. Sorry, I missed anything you said. Sorry.
So can I do an insight check on the goblin?
Yeah, we were
go for it.
wondering about him.
Insight check the goblin.
I'm gonna do that too.
Okay.
Or can I help her? Or I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
know.
assist her.
All right, I'll assist her.
You guys can kind of hang back and linger.
Yeah.
Wow.
The goblin seems extremely honest and upfront. Like he's just he really just seems like almost like he wouldn't know better to lie, if that makes sense. He seems a little bit simple, just kind of some random guy telling his truth who probably doesn't really understand what's going on.
So, Davi, said she was bringing a whole bunch of ale. Those would fit in the bag of holding, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll actually pull out a whole thing, I don't know what would make the most sense, a little small keg or big skin or whatever. And
Okay.
she'll give it to him. Give that to your uncle. Maybe that'll cheer him up.
Hey,
I
this
share it.
How much does
I'll
my character
probably-
know about depression?
Ale makes everything better, Kega.
He's like, I'll give it to him in little bits. Like I said, he's kind of acting weird lately, but I'll do what I can. So thank
Ale
you. I do
helps.
appreciate it.
I
Listen,
promise.
if nothing else, it'll make me taking care of him easier. So I appreciate
Well,
it.
there's that. Good luck.
Thanks.
Well,
So is there anything else I can do for you guys?
do you have any place to? Is this just a tavern, or do you have a place to rest?
We got a couple rooms upstairs, if you want them. But honestly, like most of the town's abandoned, people took their stuff, but usually not their furniture. So, I'm not going to lie, I've gone through it a little bit because, you always kind of want to know what people's houses look like. So, if there are beds and stuff still, you can pretty much stay anywhere you want.
I'm going to lean forward real close, and I'm going to ask, you find anything cool?
Not really. Like they know that like the Eldrin like to buy the material plane stuff. So, they take it with them in general. There's one house that smells horrible. I didn't really go in that one. But people left rugs and stuff, but nothing that's really gonna be worthwhile taking. I mean maybe if it's just me and my uncle in a boat we can fit some like a table or something. But no goblins, I don't mean to be stereotypical, but I guess I can say this since I am one. Goblins are a little bit greedy, so pretty much anything that they could fit, they took with them. So,
Which house smells terrible? So we know which one to avoid.
if you go like if you head out the door and you kind of like head left, there's like it's got like it's the first one that you're going to come across on your left. So,
Okay.
otherwise known as right here.
So you said the ghosts and skeletons and stuff you usually run across. Is the orcs? Are those a new occurrence?
The skeletons are new too. The ghosts have been here since I have been, and from what my uncle says. So my uncle came over when he was a kid, and like uncle says that they've been here for like a really long, like as long as he's known to, The skeletons are new. That's a new thing, like the ghosts are creepy, but they don't hurt you, so you just kind of la 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 la. But like the skeletons and the orcs, like they want to kill you. So I think that's really why people are leaving. Because
All right. So did they come here, or are they usually in the surrounding?
No, they haven't really come here yet. They don't seem to be interested. They seem to be moving, like actually whenever we have like seen some, they're moving like away. But the problem is, like the swamp is our livelihood. We go there to get wood and peat and like fish and like the artifacts. Not so, like I said, the artifacts not so much anymore, but like you can't live here without that stuff. So we have to encounter them or figure out something new.
All right.
So
Do the orcs and the undead work together?
I don't know, do they? They're both like assholes, so maybe.
Did they start showing up around the same time?
Yeah, actually, they did. There've been some other weird things too, like
Yeah,
there was one.
I was going to ask if you could tell us about any other weird things you've seen.
There was one guy, Zare. He actually found like these two like little green things, and he found them, and somehow he managed to like get like a leash on them, and he had them here, and he was like trying to like sell them to people, but every time you like go near it and try to like gnaw your face off, and everybody was like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want anything to do with it. I told him not to bring him in my tavern. I don't know what happened. He said he was going to sell them, and maybe he did, or maybe he just took them with him. So,
did you get a good look at them? Did you see them?
I saw them once, but I was like back here, and they were like in a crowd surrounded by people. They were little and green, and they had like these sharp fangs, and they just looked like rabid. Like it was bizarre.
Did they sound like anything we've encountered so far?
Yes. They sound like the Quasits. Were they green? I think I keep saying they're green. I'm not sure if they are. Let me double check real
they're
quick.
green now.
They are green. They are indeed green. These are actually, you recall that when Yernan mentioned coming down this way, he
I
had
do
heard
recall
that people, that something like that had been seen, and you guys were able to identify then that they were quasits.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we actually had heard about that. Was that the only kind of creature that they had?
That's the only one he had. You know, there's some people. Pedrick comes by sometimes. He's a Fey type. He's you know how some people around here are like also kind of animals. It's kind of weird. Pedrick actually has two of the skeleton kind of things that he keeps around with him. He says that they're nice because they seem to kind of like keep the other undead things away. I don't know. This is gross to me, but that's really, those are the only people that I found that have really kind of been able to like work with them or reason with them in some way. Oh, you know what? I told you that they all like were staying out there, but when this started happening, now that you bring it to mind, there were some orcs that came to town. They didn't come see me really. Like, they were just kind of like brooding around and stuff. And at first I was like, whoa, because I mean, like I mostly grew up on the material plane. So like I know orcs they're usually not good news, but like they weren't like all rah, this is our town now and rah orc things. But yeah, they were here for like a day, maybe two, and then they took off, and then it was after that like a lot more stuff started coming. So yeah, if you could find them, they might know more.
Interesting.
Or else we already killed them.
Or some like them, anyway.
Okay. So, do we want to find a place to rest, or do we want to go on and find
Clicks.
Was he in town?
Yes. I don't know where. He has a shop
The
here.
house across the way.
What was the goblin in the tavern's name? Did we get his name?
Ham or Han?
Yag. I don't know if he gave his name, but
Oh, I thought it said Ham or something. Okay.
With a Y or a J?
why?
Okay, I have
Ham.
to ask just
Good
because of the
question, though.
Swede.
Ham YOLO.
Can't help but pronounce things right.
All right, so what do we want to do? We want to rest, or do we want to look for
Well,
this
I
guy's
mean,
uncle, or search?
let's
the
How
talk
long
small
have we
house?
been going?
You have been going for quite a while. It has definitely been a full day at this point.
I'm almost out of spells.
Yeah, that too, but let's go find Klex. We probably don't have to fireball him, so
Yeah, let's do that and then rest, I guess.
yeah. Then we'll send Kaga into a stinky house.
Well, the stinky house, there's a strong possibility that there's someone there that's not living.
Yeah, he's dead. That's why it stinks.
I have an 8-year-old that apparently needs to use my bathroom, and he is like ninja crawling across the floor right now.
I don't think he knows how this microphone
Just go
thing
potty.
works.
Just go potty.
He doesn't want to be on camera.
It's straight up like the Elmer Fudd, like.
Like you weren't gonna notice he was there.
Right. Oh.
Let's go find Klex. Clegg.
Klex.
Yeah, that's what I said. With
Alright.
a Y or a J.
It's just, Klex is a C. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Jag is a Y. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go find Klex.
We're gonna go find Klex.
So
Plex and beyond.
I'm gonna go to Urinin and say, I presume the person you're looking for is the uncle.
And he'll kind of look up a little bit, draws a steadying breath, and goes, if he's the one, and he kind of gives a general direction over there, Yes.
Okay.
All right. Are you going to give us enough time to question him before you do whatever it is you need to do?
That is my intention.
All
Though I
right.
will ask that you go as quickly as you can.
All right. I guess we're going to Clex's place.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So you guys head out and you head across the way. This house doesn't really look like much. Looks like it's probably just like a private residence. But over this one, you see a sign that says Planar Emporium.
Kind of an overstatement for a guy who sells dolls and forks.
Dolls and forks.
I don't think if you're in a town with 10 houses, you can call it an emporium.
Yurden follows you out, but he just kind of like makes his way over here and lingers quietly still. You see him kind of roll his neck from side to side, just very, very visibly bothered in some manner.
Great. It's
I'm gonna
just what
go.
we want.
I'm gonna go AFK to get a snack because Hobbit food schedule.
Okay. With all the noise. Okay, so do you guys head inside?
Yes.
Okay. So you find a very small building. It's filled with barrels and boxes and tables and shelves, and you get the impression that in its prime, it probably had a lot of items and curiosities to offer its customers, but those days are long gone, and the only thing cluttering the shelves now is dust. You, once again, find a single occupant inside. This time it's a very elderly goblin, and he's reclining in this plush chair with his feet kicked up on a table and a bottle of alcohol just kind of dangling loosely from one finger, completely empty. You'd place him well into his late middle ages with ample wrinkles and gray hair. And he's got these big, like, watery eyes that are red around the edges from, presumably lack of sleep and alcohol consumption. As you walk in, he drags the stained yellow sleeve across his lips and says, "We're closed."
You should probably lock the door then.
Well, there's not much to keep out these days.
Is this the uncle?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you want?
What do you got?
Nothing.
Why are you here?
It's home.
How do you get by?
Nah. My nephew brings me food and stuff, but that's, just getting by while it lasts.
Well, what lasts?
Hi, Sesnag.
He says he.
Good, make Seznag do the talking.
Yay!
Whatever's left, I mean, I saw the swamp before this town was even built, and one lifetime, it's gone. Everything's gone. Everything dies.
Is this a combat map?
No.
Roll initiative.
So, you guys made it to the Swamp Rose, went to the Tipsy Crane, found a goblin named Yag. He said that most of the town's been abandoned because once the orcs and the undead started showing up, people were like, "This place is crap anyway. Why are we staying?" The only person left is his uncle Klex that you are currently speaking to. He is drunk off his butt. And
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
You're trying to find out what he's doing here, and I don't know what we're doing here, so there you go.
And you were able to find out that there was like a small party of orcs that came through at some point at the beginning before all of the undead and everything started showing up. So
So you look like you've been around a long time. So what do you know about orcs and what all happened out there? Got any good stories? Stories are worth something.
why are you asking about the orcs?
Because we keep seeing them.
Why
Didn't
doesn't he want to
expect
talk
to.
to us about the orcs? I mean, Clax was definitely more forthcoming.
Orcs are liars. That's
I
what
mean,
I know
yeah.
about orcs.
Did they lie to you?
Maybe they're dead. I don't know. They come and they tell you big promises and and then
What'd they
nothing.
promise you?
They said they had a way in and that they'd tell me and that I could fix the town and I could go. There have been a lot of treasure hunters here, but I'm the best. I was a kid when we first came over. It was a normal night in the material plane and the mirror of the dead men, whatever they call it.
That's how sober people read that source book too.
We were just going to go. There was a camp of humans, and then the next thing we know, everything's changed, and we were looting them, and then the trees are looting us, and it was strange. And
The trees were looting you?
they move here. It's weird, They take your
It's a little strange
things.
here.
So we were stuck. We didn't know where we were for a long time, and then when we figured it out, they weren't sure. I mean, goblins don't belong here, but the queen thought we were interesting and she said we could stay. So we built this town and a lot of people came and went, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. When you go back, time is weird. Sometimes it's the same time and sometimes it's not. And sometimes doors close and sometimes you just don't even remember where you were. We lost a lot of people, but I got really good at it. I mean, I don't know if it's because I started when I was a kid but I just kind of figured it out. So, the queen, she told me because I started bringing all this stuff over, and she said that was fine so long as I didn't bring anything over that would hurt the kingdom. So, and the orcs, they said, we'll help you. We have new doors. You help us, and we'll help you.
Where was this door they were supposed to unlock?
They didn't tell me. They said that once they had what they needed, then they would come back and show me. And I guess it was dumb. I mean, I'm not a kid anymore. I should have known better, but I needed hope. I needed something.
How do we? I mean, I feel like he's admitting to a whole lot of collusion at the moment.
I'm a little concerned that the wild hunt is about to literally gut this guy in front of us.
Well, no, I know he is.
Aaron's not in the room with us right now.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to hear it to know the Oathbreaker, okay? He knows. That's a thing the wild
Well,
hunt
he
do.
already asked us to hurry with our questioning because he needs to do what
So
he
did
has
you
to
bring
do.
over something that would hurt the kingdom?
I don't know.
What did you bring?
Them, I mean, I didn't bring it, but I told them. I answered their questions, and then it all kind of fell apart.
How long ago was this?
A few weeks, maybe. I don't know. I've been drinking a lot. Maybe a month.
Which way did they leave?
I would guess towards the northwest. That's what they were looking for. So
What questions did they ask? What'd you answer?
they wanted to know about the history of the swamp and the ghosts, and what they really wanted was the location of Iniarv's tower.
that?
What tower?
Putting it in chat.
Uh-oh. It's important enough that she's concerned about her pronunciation, guys.
Okay. Interesting. Where can we find that tower?
I mean, I guess there's not a lot to lose now, is there? It's if you go to the north and the west, it's on the edge of the swamp. Have you ever been to the material plane?
We're from the
A
material
couple
plane.
times.
Well, if you've ever been near Waterdeep and stuff, it's they're kind of the same here and there, and it's in the same place as the ruins are in the material plane.
Have any of us ever been there or heard of it?
I don't know. Have you?
Well, I
Have you
mean,
anybody from Waterdeep?
Not me.
I have no idea.
Do we not?
Would I have heard of Waterdeep? My people travel a lot.
Yeah, from traveling, Davi, you probably have.
I mean, Leah probably would have been in Waterdeep at some point.
So we'll go with if you want to have been. I
Yeah.
mean, really,
Dottie would've.
everything is we're keeping it in the 5e Sword Coast kind of landscape. So all of you guys are from that general region. So even if you haven't been there, you've definitely heard of it, so.
Okay. And I've heard of the place. I don't think I've ever been.
Davi's been. I've been there. Been a
Do you
long
know?
time.
Do you know about the ruins there?
Been a long time since I was there.
They're old. They're really old.
So did they mention why they were looking for it?
No, they gave me some food. It wasn't, alligator or bird or fish. It was nice. And they gave me some ale and said that they had stuff to do there. So they wanted to know where to find it. And I told them, and they said they'd be opening a gate to the material plane and maybe more than one. And once they succeeded, they said they'd come back and, let me know.
Interesting.
Okay.
So, were there a lot of orcs in the area when this happened, or was this like the first you guys had the town had really seen orcs here?
They were the first. There was 2 of them, and one of them had like a lot of like stuff around his neck, like ears. It was pretty gross.
Ears.
I'm picturing Felix as like police sketch artisting this. He's like making a note who to kill. He's like,
side note, we've already encountered that dude with the ears around his neck.
Oh yeah, he did. Okay. So we don't know why they. Well, I mean, I guess we know why they wanted to go there. They were opening a gate. I guess they were kind of the forerunners of the orcs. So we kind of know.
wait, time out. Did Felix murder like the actual people responsible like 3 sessions ago?
Yep.
Probably.
Pretty much.
Fizz murdered pretty much everybody, so.
That's probably where all our clues and hints and everything were, and now they're dead.
You mean those
You're
orcs I said we should talk to?
They were
Those
orcs.
orcs?
They're liars.
We
Come
did
on.
talk to the orcs. Or one of the orcs.
We only talked to one orc. We did not talk to the orc
I
that
wrote
had
down the
ears.
statement. The orc said, "Bleh."
All right. So
would any of us recognize the name of that tower?
You can make a history check.
Can I also make a history check?
Sure.
My character is so backwoods, he's not gonna know what the hell that is.
Natural 20s happen, CAG. Always roll.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
Okay. So, Jacobus. What you do know is that it's a pretty famous ruin. One of the things, especially given your now, I guess, pretty well-known questionable background when it comes to, individuals in black market organizations. The tower is known because it is very old, like 1,000 years old, and it was said to have once been housed Iniarv, who was the mage royale of a really, really old kingdom. And people have, at some point, he disappeared, and people have tried to rebuild the tower, and it always seems to crumble quickly, almost as though it's cursed or something. Your people have kind of like gone through and kind of like hid out there because, people, even in the material plane, people feel like the swamp and the old keep and tower and everything are haunted. So, in general, people kind of try to steer clear of it. So it's kind of really known for nefarious activity these days. The more educated people know that bandits and stuff hang out there. The less educated people say, "Oh, it's ghosts." So, you've heard of people passing through and kind of like hiding loot there, dropping off and picking up and stuff. So
Don't tell them there's loot there.
Let's go!
Well, in the material plane, so.
So is it ghost loot here?
It's orcs for him to kill.
Okay. So, did these orcs mention working with anyone or how they planned on opening the gate?
No, they honestly, I guess I kind of hope that if I didn't ask too many questions, maybe it would all be okay.
No. As you've discovered, that's a terrible way to do business.
Well, I guess when you're desperate,
Well, fair enough. Can't argue with that.
So I'm gonna subtly give a signal to CAG here, just a little.
I'm gonna look directly at Sezzy and go, "What?"
And I'm just gonna give him a little hand wavesy, come over here.
Is there something on my?
He's giving you a come hither.
Is there something on my tunic?
I'm giving you a come hither look.
Is there? Do I have something on me?
What is his passive persuasion and his int, if you don't mind me asking?
My int is 10, and my passive perception is 16.
You ought to recognize the hand gesture. It's well in your passive perception.
All right, fine. I wander over there and I lean in real close. Yeah.
God.
Oh, he's leaning in.
I'm just gonna say, it would do us well to figure out what we're going to do when, and I'm just gonna glance over at Davi and make a short gesture with my hand.
Ooh, he calls her short.
No, I made a short gesture. I didn't call her anything.
I'm just thinking about singing the Little Mermaid song. Ooh, go kiss.
Yeah, good.
Kiss the druid.
I'm going to whisper to CAG, basically. We should probably figure out what we're going to do when, and I make the shorty symbol, decides that this is her new favorite lost cause. Because this guy is definitely dead.
So
I think our internet's kind of crap.
I'm gonna continue speaking quietly to Rafferty, excuse me. So I think she has to know that he's gonna die in the next 30 minutes. And if she doesn't, we'll just make sure she's not in the room. That said, I think if we get her to focus on this tower, maybe we can redirect her attention. What do you think?
Okay.
I have a question.
In this,
Yeah.
where
I
we are, her do-goodness is not going to jive with the whole Oathbreaker thing. Like, there are things here you just don't.
Oh, gross! You're drooling all over me, dude. Ugh. Dude, all right, fine.
Embrace your druid, Kai.
We're all done. We're all done.
I'm just out of curiosity. I mean, how
Says
obvious?
quit drooling on
Go
Kai.
down.
How
Be gone,
obvious is this side conversation? Because it's getting a little in depth to be just that nobody is noticing it.
I mean, I'm sure people are noticing.
Davi's just gonna go over to Earlith and say, "Do you think they're sweet on each other?"
And because my passive perception is lower than hers, I'm gonna say maybe.
I'd rather than think that I'm literally trying to figure out if we can physically restrain the cleric if it comes.
Kagnos gently
While
cups
Davi's over there
Rafferty's balls.
gossiping about you two.
Davi's stronger than the rest of the party combined.
Yeah.
I know. Good
But
luck.
Cag can turn into a girly bear.
Kick
It's like a
everybody's
grizzly
ass, don't
bear.
forget.
It's a grizzly bear spelled incorrectly.
Okay,
Okay.
little side meeting over. I thought
All
that.
right. We'll just make sure she's
I
not
really think they're
there
sweet on each
when
other.
this happens.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, time will tell, I suppose. Time will tell.
So I'm gonna then turn away from Cag, and I'm gonna introduce myself to the situation here with this guy who's clearly. And I'm
Clearly
gonna
what?
ask.
Yeah,
He's
we missed
dead.
it last one. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this guy's gonna die. Just so we're clear here. It ain't gonna be pretty, and we might have to restrain the cleric, but
No.
he's gonna die. And I'm gonna say, did you make your oath of fealty to the queen or to some other power?
To the queen of air and darkness.
Oh,
Hold on.
that's not the
Who dat?
Autumn Queen.
It's the
That's Mab,
Queen?
right?
She's the queen of the winter court, the queen of all the unseelie court.
Okay.
How do you not know the queen?
We've only met the Autumn Queen.
Oh. Yeah, she's the queen of the winter court is more important than the autumn queen.
Oh yeah, we know. We've heard.
Oh, okay.
I now feel confident that I can express to Davi that leaving him to the wild hunt is going to be a mercy compared to letting the queen he actually swore fealty find him. Like it's going to be better for.
At least he'll be put out rather than.
Oh no, they may flay him alive.
Okay, well that's also possible.
That's their laws. Because if he broke his word, he broke his word. That's not good, bad, or evil. That's just...
Here, it is more important than good or evil.
Go.
I don't have a dog in that fight. If he screwed up, he screwed up.
Okay, good. I suggest we finish questioning this man and leave him to be flayed.
Well, I mean, I guess
I think they ought to do it now, mercifully.
if the plan
But-
here is to investigate why orcs and demons are here, I guess our next stop would be that tower.
I kind of want to go see what's in the stinky house because I just want to make sure there's not like something in there that,
Oh, guarantee you there's at least
Dead
one
or-
dead person in there.
Yeah, there could be clues.
Oh my god, she's Thelma, guys.
Oh god, does that make me Scooby?
Yes.
Only
Yes.
how many times
Yes.
per rest?
And that must mean that Felix is Shaggy.
Oh no! Or is it Rafferty?
No. I'm one of the guest stars that showed up in the later seasons.
Oh my god!
Like I could be all of Kiss or the Brady Bunch. You know,
All of Kiss.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to ask, and unless anyone else has anything, I'm good to go. Oh my gosh, dog! Stop it! This couch thing may not work out. She thinks I'm going to pet her the entire time we play.
So tell her to leave it.
I tried. Leave it.
Wait, you guys got a dog?
We've had a dog.
Oh, we
We've
have
had
a dog.
a dog for like 2 years
Oh,
now.
Cag. Can we tell them? Oh wait, no, we'll tell them later because we're in character.
Oh my god! The suspense is now killing me.
We're getting
We
a
all
cat.
know.
That's all.
Oh.
Yay!
So I'm super excited. Anyway,
It's
Okay,
my
moving on.
Doge.
Cag is
Cag
gonna
looks-
need like Benadryl IV drip.
yeah, he's gonna start doing like the allergen shot things. So, but 10 years of marriage, I wore him down.
This is how much I love my wife.
And your son.
Yeah. Well, it's a Siberian forest cat, so it's
In theory, it'll be easier on allergies. We'll find out more on Monday. anyway,
You have a
really
Siberian
back in.
cat in Florida.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
exactly.
it'll be an indoor cat, but yes.
It's
Be a
a
sad
cat. They're all from the genus asshole. So
exactly. I'm so excited.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real asshole once it claws up my
Boom.
couch.
Shh. Bringing it back in. Bringing it
Oh,
back
sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'm done. This guy can die. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're done with him.
I really question what my alignment is.
I mean, to Earlith, it's a simple matter. If he agreed to do something and he broke his word, then that's just what it is. It's not.
I'm pretty sure Eurolith is chaotic neutral, so
Oh yes, she 100% is. She would have left Rafferty in the swamp to die if it was more efficient.
she's effectively
I've
Two-Face.
already gamed out 7 versions of this where you die, Leah. So it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. But obviously, I didn't want Rafferty to die but Earless is less concerned.
All right, I'm gonna go start moving to the exit of the hut.
Okay.
I'm gonna go along too, and I'm just gonna give the guy a.
I'm gonna bow my head respectfully to the guy and say, "May your queen be feeling merciful."
Yeah. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
I should have taken that bet with Felix. I'd be making $10 right now.
Yeah, because Felix was sure that we'd be like, but Earless is not gonna care. So
The problem isn't that Earlith cares; it's that Earlith cares about Davi, and Davi cares about butterflies.
yeah, now that's true. Earless would probably not let Davi go into the situation by herself.
Davi's going to go check out that smelly house.
Okay.
There could be orcs all in there, and this could all be a big lie.
So you guys head out. Yurden turns as you exit, and he, turns to kind of look at you. And
do we? I don't know. What do we want to even tell him anything? We just.
Are you-
We're
Are you
done with him,
finished?
yes.
Oh yeah,
Good.
we're done with him. Yeah.
As far as we
understand
know.
probably have business with him.
he walks by and heads into the building.
Oh,
I
that
gotta
guy's
go.
about to have
What
a real
oath
bad
did
day.
he break? Wait. What oath did he break?
He let the orcs in. He broke his oath. To
But
the
he
queen.
didn't do that for the Autumn Queen.
I don't
but
know.
It was for the Queen of Air and
Yeah, I mean the
Darkness.
Autumn Queen serves.
So you
the-
work for
the Winter
both?
Queen.
I work for no queen.
Interesting.
So if anybody breaks an oath to any queen, you guys step in.
Anybody.
If anyone breaks an oath, I fulfill. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
That's all I wanted to know.
All right. I'll see you in a moment.
Just want
Heads on
everyone to
inside.
know. It's,
Make it quick and merciful.
He doesn't respond, heading in and closing the door behind. As he goes in, you do hear Klex as he looks up and goes, "Is that it then? No trial. Don't you people believe in justice or something?" The door closes behind him.
well,
So, Dobby, you were headed off to the stinky house.
I am
Yeah.
going with Davi to the stinky house.
Same.
Okay. All right.
She'll pull out a clothespin and yeah. I'm going to the stinky house.
Well,
All right. So as you head over to the stinky house, it actually has like kind of a one of the waterlogged boards that's kind of been nailed up in front of it to just kind of like, almost like, hey, looters, don't come in here, But you can see where it's not. It's almost kind of bowing out from it a little bit. It is clearly already been removed at least once. And the nails just kind of slid back into the holes. It's not looking really stable there.
Well, that's easy work.
Yeah, so you really have no problem just kind of like shimming it off and pulling it out. And as you open the door, you are immediately hit by this just like rancid smell that is just absolutely disgusting. You definitely recognize it as the smell of decay.
I can't smell anything.
You can almost taste it. It's just like this kind of like thick sourness in the back of your throat. It's a very small, modest house. It is 2-story. You see stairs in the back. It looks very similar to what you expect of like lower class, almost surprisingly material plain. It's got a rug that's just very simply woven. It's not adorned or anything. There is a table. It's got grooves in it and everything. It's obviously been used for a very long time. No chairs. Kind of like a modest little cooking area over to one side, but pretty much everything looks like it's been taken. There's no art on the wall or anything. It's maybe housed one person at some point. It doesn't really look like a family home. It's pretty modest.
All right.
Um,
Look
Can I-
around a little bit, see
yeah.
what we see.
can I do a quick perception check to see if there's anything that stands out?
Sure, you can do perception. Davi, you can roll an investigation if you want.
yeah, I'm
We
gonna
should have that
look.
switched, man.
I'm gonna help.
Or
look
the
around
opposite.
too. I'm gonna look around as well, just to
Okay.
see what I see. Also,
My 3D dice do not match.
yeah, I mean,
my
have we
regular rolls.
already determined that this house is empty?
Okay.
Should I? What should I roll?
If you were looking, it depends. If you're just kind of looking around, perception. If you're kind of like, peeking through drawers and stuff, then investigation. Depends upon how deeply you're trying to search right now.
And but I'm trying to confirm that this place is empty. Where have we haven't left but the front room, so right.
Right. Well, it appears there's only one room down here, and then there are stairs heading up to the top, but it looks to be, there may be more rooms upstairs, but it's a very small little establishment.
I am going to go to the stairs and sort of peer up and
Okay.
see if I see anything up there.
Okay,
So
roll
what is
perception.
that?
Okay. So, Cog, looking around, you don't really find anything interesting. It is very, very low class. None of the furniture is particularly well made. It looks, like it was probably, not made by a skilled carpenter. Just, maybe even the person who lived here. Like the shelves are not quite even, depths. It's very, very, just making do with what they had. You do find, Davi, as you kind of, poke around and stuff, you do really find like a fork, here, like maybe a gold coin there, a couple of odds and ends that were missed, but for the most part, it does appear to have been looted pretty dry. You both notice that like the rug is kind of discolored and blotchy in places. It definitely looks like things of a cloth-like nature don't fare well in this environment. It kind of gives you that like the GB's kind of like nothing in here is quite clean. You're heading over the stairs and looking up. You don't see anything, but you do notice that the smell is stronger over here.
Okay, I'm going to I'm in here with Davi and Cag. Did anybody else come with us?
It's
I
like
stayed at the door.
It's like Felix was trying to come in too.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm mostly waiting at the door.
Go upstairs.
I was gonna get somebody who was good with a knife to head up the stairs. I was gonna motion to Jackie to and point at the stairs because in case there's something up there, I don't necessarily. I mean, I'm
Sure,
happy
I'll
to
go
cover the
upstairs.
back. I'm happy to cover the back with the bow, but I mean,
Okay, so you head upstairs, Jacobus.
Yep.
Upstairs, the smell is overwhelming. It is just, it's enough to make you dry heave a little bit and, seriously, reconsider this venture. There is a single twin-sized bed upstairs. It doesn't have a head or a foot. It appears to have just kind of been put on very modest kind of box frame. The sheets are stripped. The mattress is kind of gray and yellow and definitely looks like it's a mold, pool. There is one little dresser over to the side. It's again, not very well made. The drawers aren't. They are kind of janky looking. No rug up here. And everything else pretty much seems to have been taken.
Can I tell where this is coming?
Roll a perception check.
Oh, come on.
You might hit your one crit of the game, and then she literally has to tell you the plot. So,
I mean, I'm
Ooh.
gonna kind of go
That
half.
was a nice one. It is so heavy in the air here that it's hard to tell. It just seems to be everywhere.
So,
I'm gonna
is
open
there?
the drawers.
Okay, so you go over and you kind of pull open the first one, and it's it's really showing it's how poorly made it is. You have to kind of like wiggle it to get it to come out. There's no smooth slide. There doesn't appear to be anything in the top drawer.
Okay,
Push back in.
since I'm not hearing any scuffling or anything like that, I'm gonna go the rest of the way up the stairs because I had sort of gone up about halfway, and hopefully I am not as affected by the smell as everybody else because it just seems gross. But whatever. But I do want to know if I have any ability to figure out where that smell is coming from, other than
Okay.
it being all around.
You can roll a perception check.
guys, I have an important visual
Wow.
aid for this scene
Oh god.
and channel.
I'm so
if there are
afraid.
children around, have your phones on.
Here we go.
Oh man. So Irlith, as you go upstairs, you can definitely tell that the smell does seem to be coming from the direction of the dresser, just as Jacobus kind of wiggles out that last drawer.
Oh,
As you pull out to reveal just dozens of these tiny little bodies that have been crammed into this drawer. They're very clearly identified as the Miramalls that you found before with Urinin. But they had like these kind of like mushroom growths on their back, and you can see very quickly that those have actually been shaved off, and what's left of their corpse has just kind of been crammed, and they are pretty mangled, not just desecrated, like twisted this way and that in various states of decay, and they've just kind of been stored in this compartment.
I think, guys, there's a likely chance that Mr. Drunky Drunk did some murder before he finished off the booze.
I don't know. Or whoever was here was involved in whatever was going on. But this is alarming. I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna go back down the stairs.
So what are these creatures again? What did you call them?
Miramalls.
They're little demonic creatures, right?
No, they're actually fey creatures. I probably have a picture I can link you guys again.
Have we ever encountered these before?
You have. So when you guys were coming through the swamp, or before you got to the swamp, actually, Yernan called Jacobus up, and they kind of stealthed off for a moment, and they found this group of Mirmals that were ripping apart some kind of animal, devouring it in a very
Oh, that's
carnivore
right.
kind of way. It wasn't the same kind of like cannibalism that you witnessed with the orc's corpse. It was, like it was like a deer or something. And they were eating it. And Yernan commented that it was strange to see them so far from the swamp. And you guys decided to kind of like stealth around rather than, engage with them. So
Gross. Okay.
So somebody's murdered these little fey creatures. I mean, do we feel like this is something we ought to tell Ernan about?
There's
I don't
nothing
know if
like in the house that could identify, like no books, journals.
all of it looks like everything that could be carried has been carried. Between what Yag said and the board that's obviously been removed before, you get the feeling that, everybody took what they could, and then looters have pretty thoroughly combed the general area.
I think we should ask Yag, who used to live here.
Okay.
I
Well,
think we
let's
should dump
do
the
that.
drawer out and make sure there's nothing underneath it, because if I wanted to hide something, that'd be a
You would hide it under a bunch of
Great
dead
deterrent.
bodies?
no, but it'd be a great deterrent. Most people are not going to mess with it.
I have so many concerns about our friendship right now.
I have
think-
so many concerns about this whole thing, but yes, I'm going to leave. I'm going to agree that we should talk to Yag and suggest that we leave.
I'm gonna leave the
But
house.
Davi will
anyway.
actually put the little bodies into like a rug or something, or blanket off the bed or whatever, and carry
I
them
wouldn't
down.
touch
A
anything on
burial
that
at
bed.
sea.
Okay.
Burial
Davi
is
is
Stas is like, I would not touch.
I am
anything on
long
that
out of the
bed.
house when this happens.
as you,
I'm leaving the house as well.
as you begin to remove them, I need
She'll
you
make
to
sure
make
she has gloves and everything,
a Constitution saving throw for me, Davi.
All right.
And that's how Davi got dysentery.
All right, now we have to pay attention to Davi. If she starts doing crazy shit, we can't just ignore it for like 15 seconds.
I don't have any clue what you're talking about.
Would that be
So-
crazy shit like following a revenant through a swamp for no particular reason?
Oh my
That's a really
God.
good
Are
point.
you ever gonna tell?
So, Davi, as you begin to move these bodies very carefully, guarding your hands and everything, you feel the bile rise in your throat a couple times, because there are some of them that are just, this appears, whatever this individual was doing, it appears to have gone on for a while. But you manage to kind of suppress it, especially, focusing on your task and
She's
how
gonna
much
swallow
this
the
means
puke,
to you.
guys.
how much this means to you to really ensure a peaceful rest for every soul that you come to pass by, and you just summon up that inner strength, and you manage to get it done. You get everything kind of like bundled up and ready for whatever burial you see fit. So.
Okay.
Yep. So seriously, we have found the earless limit.
Guys, we've also discovered that box springs exist in this version of the Feywild. I have questions about that.
So, Cog, you were heading back to the Tipsy Crane?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna go,
Okay.
Keg.
As you head back over, you actually find, let me find his little thing, Yernan, kind of standing on the bridge, hanging out.
So I'm gonna stop and look over at Yernan and assess him.
His demeanor.
Yes.
Roll an insight check.
Already on it. That's terrible.
Can I do it as well?
Sure.
What are we even insight checking?
Yernan. Yeah.
Cog, he seems quiet. Yurlith, you can tell that, especially a lot of the tension that he had built up since the tension that had mounted for him as you guys got so close to the swamp rose, the kind of fury that he seemed to be encasing as he waited for you guys to finish your questioning and everything, has visibly dissipated. His shoulders are relaxed. He definitely appears a little distant and thoughtful still, but more content and meditative, just really very, very different, very more open, more relaxed than, frankly, the entire time that you've spent with him up until this point.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, he's definitely all right.
I gotta
We're
go
headed
say
in here
last
to
rites there too, don't I?
So should we tell him? I'm gonna look at Cag and I'm gonna say, should we tell him about what we found over there?
I mean, I guess we can. I don't know.
That'd be
if
kind of
you'll
obvious
care.
when Davi comes carrying bodies out.
Are you carrying them out of the building?
I was giving them a burial at
Why is
Swamp.
Davi so weird?
Okay, I'm just
Because
gonna.
the target for
Says
that
the
con save
naked
was
druid.
actually 20.
So in that case, I'm just gonna motion to the Tipsy Crane again and say we actually have discovered that we need to ask this guy a few more questions. And should we tell him anything about his uncle?
Maybe ask if his work is done, or if there's still a chance to add a few questions.
I mean, I guess. Did you?
I think this guy got his murder Jones off. Like I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think he fulfilled the business he was here for. I mean, Earless is clearly has realized that he's.
So there might be someone else who needs burying, and.
Yeah, that's what
We've discovered we need to ask a few more questions. Is it all right if we ask this Yag some more questions, or?
And he actually, for the first time, offers you a slight smile. Of course, I'm in no hurry now. Please do whatever you need.
Okay. All right. Just so that you know, we did discover some Feywild creatures who have been murdered in this other house. Davi is trying to put them to rest. So, but just so that you know about it, we are going to go ask him some more questions, and I'm going to head inside.
Okay. So he kind of looks over. You see him look across the way at you, Davi, and he kind of, tilts his head and watches curiously, but doesn't seem, particularly engaged or alarmed as you haul out dozens of tiny bodies.
I'm gonna follow Yurlith into the building again, but first I'm gonna look at what's this dude's name?
Urinin.
Urine. Okay.
This is how my bird became kibble.
Did you fulfill your oath?
I did.
I was gonna nod.
He's gonna nod in return.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I did.
Just gonna observe them nodding with each other.
You getting jealous over there, Cag?
I was gonna say, is he jelly now?
I
He's
move
all
in and I cut both of their nuts.
Davi's just gonna keep.
You're gonna have to make an attack
over
roll
there.
for that, sir.
Say
that
some
seems
words.
very invasive.
No, it's
It's
totally
an
cool.
outing.
Just go with it. Go with it, dude. Don't be weird about
it. Really, there's
This becomes
nothing
an
weird
elf
about
thing.
that at all.
This is an elf thing, and Leo now identifies as human,
Yeah.
So you guys head back in to the Tipsy Crane, and Yag's there, and he's actually kind of got his elbows on the counter now, and he's looking down into his mug, and as you look up, and his eyes are a little red too. You can tell that they're a little watery, and he goes, "Guessing you went and saw my uncle then."
We did. We did. Actually, we really, really only wanted to ask you, did you know the person who lived in the stinky house?
Yeah, that was Zare. Zare lived there. He was He did like gosh, what would you call it? You know, where you gather things and you try to make new stuff like potions and that kind of thing.
Right.
He wasn't good at making potions, but he sold stuff like to the courts, you know, just like things that you could use.
So, do you know what kinds of components he used?
Not really. I mean, people talk to me about things, but you know, like I said, I'm not into that kind of stuff too much. You know, I know that there's a lot of stuff that he could find here that you couldn't get anywhere else, and so apparently he did pretty well. Hey, has the did the huntsman guy talk to my uncle yet?
I think so.
Okay,
I'm gonna.
I was kind
I'm
of
gonna-
figuring he did.
Yeah.
He takes
Were
another
you-
swig of the ale.
Oh man, everyone's just getting sad drunk here. This is
It's the best outing ever.
well. I mean, we're not at risk of drowning here, so.
I'm just gonna give him sort of a sympathetic look, and I'm gonna say, I don't know what to say in this situation, but just like a little sympathetic look because he does seem very. Because we determined that he was kind of simple, right? So
Yeah.
Jacobus is going to let him know free to move.
wait, is
I
Jackie
missed
there
what you
too?
said.
Jacobus is going to let him know that he's free to move.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And he kind of draws a breath aside. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, at least I don't have to stay in the shithole anymore. You know, that's I get to. I mean, you know, once something's done at a certain point, you just got to move on. You know."
That seems the best.
If
I'm
I
gonna
was-
give him a bracing look, and you know,
Someone who was there for the Demigorgon might want to
Give up
explain
our
that.
lip.
Yeah, we know exactly what you mean.
I wasn't there.
So he kind of looks back down at his mug and, right. Well, yeah. You're asking about Zare. Yeah, he, I mean, I mean, yeah, he sold stuff. He was a nice guy, but I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not too much help.
How do you spell
Yeah.
Zare? Okay.
I mean, I know he wasn't always like, hey, he was a nice, how about this? He was a nice guy if you were a goblin. But I mean, he was also the kind of guy that would like pull wings off butterflies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the type.
we noticed.
Oh yeah, we put that together.
Wings off
So-
butterflies, mushrooms off the back of sentient mushroom people.
But I mean, that kind of stuff, it's got value. So,
I
Do you
guess
know where he went from here?
no. I mean, a lot of people said they were going to try to, head towards the courts and stuff. Some people went into the swamp thinking maybe they could stumble back into the material plane, but this is pretty risky. More people seemed like they were going to go try to find a new place to be.
So after Davi gets done with the little bodies or whatever and saying her words there, she'll go back over and ask Yernan if it's okay to say last words over the uncle.
And Yernan will kind of look down at you, and you too, Dottie, notice that he is substantially more relaxed, and he'll kind of look back at the building, and he goes, "That should be fine. His oath is fulfilled at this point. I know that I'm afraid that I don't know too much about goblin religion or what he might require, but perhaps you know more than I do. To my understanding, they are also of the material plane."
Everybody's got a different path to walk. I just help them find the path.
Well, then you do him a kindness. Oh, but I did. And he kind of, like reaches under his arm and he pulls out a book that he offers to you. He goes, he did have this. It may be of use to you. It appears to be a history of some sort. So I thought perhaps you could put it to scare someone in your party.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. She'll take the book. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
As you head over into the Planar Emporium, you do indeed find the body of Klex, and he has been very cleanly decapitated.
All right. Well, we'll start another burial.
Hey, at least
Davi's
it's
the
one
Undertaker.
shorter hole. It's a good 8 or 10 inches shorter.
And
Davi will say words on him and, see him on his path, whatever that may be. Whatever.
And for what it's worth, the death does appear to have been Click. Whether it have been his prior intention or Davi's words, it doesn't. You don't see any signs of torture or lingering. It is just a straight, clean blow. So
That's fair.
So maybe we find some
Davies are Daviing, and the rest of you can go do whatever.
Look, she's in the swamp
Davi.
again.
Oh my god.
All right.
All
So
right.
maybe we find a
I'll
place
see
to
if I can-
rest.
Yeah, we need to rest because everybody needs everybody needs spells back, and I think some of us need to heal. Not me, but some of us do.
Felix?
After Davi gets done, she's going to go find Leo and ask him for that Presta stuff.
How many
Press
dirt naps did Jacob
That,
just
that
take?
clean me up thing.
The prestidigitation.
I was like, Presta stuff.
Prestidigitation, please.
Get a washing machine.
Do you want? I'm going to sleep next to you.
Oh, and so it begins.
I don't think so.
Oh me.
Will he please clean her up?
Hey.
No, I can only clean up to 1 cubic foot, and you're about 2.
Well, so do it twice.
That's my cantrip slots. I'm out.
You can do those unlimited.
You don't know that. You're not a mage. Fine.
I'll give you ale.
Abracadabra.
Prestidigitation.
Yay!
Now
I'm
you're
clean
all
again.
clean.
I also shoot some little sparks at her.
Aw, that's so nice, Leo.
Fireworks.
Fireworks with your shower.
I know, it was so cool.
It's exhausted
I
all the
think
things
he
that
likes
prestidigitation
me.
do. I also
Oh,
also light a candle somewhere that I've used everything prestidigitation can do.
So, you guys are finding a place to rest?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Wait, are we gonna rest at the Stinky Village?
Well, I
We're
mean,
gonna
where
find
else
a
are we gonna
non-sticky
rest?
house.
So we're just gonna go digging through empty house and see if we find something to sleep on or something, Liam.
Basically, yes.
Okay, Gag, make an investigation check.
Oh shit. I'm literally looking to see if there's a bed.
Roll high, otherwise we don't sleep.
Thankfully, it's not hard to find a bed. You lucked out.
Check the
Yeah,
hot
you-
spring.
Check for bed bugs.
Most of the buildings here have beds. You do find a few shops, but at least half of them do. You don't find any that are in one building that have enough to sleep your whole party. Most of them are questionable. They seem a little moist and stained. The bedding is stripped,
Moist.
but there are plenty of places to bunker down for the night.
Moist and stained is how it was described, Kega.
So I'm bunking with Leo.
Not Rafferty?
There's
Wait
like
a
12
minute,
there's like
wait a
12
minute.
houses. Why are we bunking? Get your own house.
Okay.
Oh, the plot
so-
is thickening.
hold
Here,
on.
this is getting crazy.
I know.
I'm resetting all my stuff so I have like spell slots back and whatnot. and making sure I pick.
I
Right,
mean,
spells.
as usual.
Are we getting a long rest? Or are we getting murdered in our sleep?
I mean, I'm assuming we're getting a long rest.
I just
Well.
hope they get married someday, Earlith, because I have a spell that lets me marry people.
That's a
Okay.
spell.
I have a spell that lets me marry people.
That's
and say death rights and some other stuff.
Actually, I think it's a spell that gives you a bonus after you get if you married.
Yeah, it gives you a bonus after you're married
what's
for
the
a
bonus?
little while.
It's like
Don't you know?
it's like +1 AC for like 7 days or something.
He's
Earlith.
gonna
Fine.
power
Jeez.
game a marriage.
Earlith. Does divorce exist?
There you go.
All right, Earlith. You want
What
+1
about-
AC?
No, thanks.
I think
That's-
you should.
I'm
I think you
just-
should get +1 AC. And
I
I'll-
could also give you a coming of age thing. You
Oh,
know.
I'll give her a coming of age.
Hey,
You can only get it again if you're widowed, so one of you had to murder the other one afterwards.
Fair enough. Leah wants a gunslinger
Wait.
anyway.
wait. If you get married in the Feywild and then you kill your wife, you've broken your wedding vows. That's really not a good.
That's
those
not a
are-
good look.
Just don't put.
It's
I'm
right.
not gonna murder my wife in the vows.
Jacobus is going to murder all of us eventually, so I just need to wait for him to murder
I
her
think that
first.
is his vow, right?
All right.
No, Jackie promised me that he was not going to do that. I take care of him.
Did he?
Yes.
The guy murdering people promised you he wasn't gonna murder you.
I take care of you. Who else is going to do that?
That doesn't sound like something you can trust.
It does
It's
not.
Jackie. I can trust Jackie.
Definitely.
Definitely. See?
Oh,
He said
God.
so.
Oh, why is
Alright.
she both super perceptive and super gullible at the same time? I just
It's
don't
a weird
understand.
mix.
I'm just asking your friend.
And now we know Earth is actually like, I have to protect this woman. Like,
It's a little bit like that, yes.
All right. So, do we get a long rest?
You do. You manage to get a long rest. You know,
Sweet.
wherever, bunk together, bunk separately, whatever you do. It's a quiet night.
I spoon Kiga.
Hey.
Jeez.
And we get
All
plus
right.
1 AC the next day.
All right, I'm gonna have to go. But
You scared
Okay, I
the
don't
dog.
spoon Kiga. Fine.
yeah, may stop by later if I can, but probably not tonight. Early
Okay.
work tomorrow.
Thanks for
All
coming.
Thanks, Sis.
Nice,
Good night.
I'm
Bye.
so excited that we didn't try to kill the wild hunt guy. I was so I came prepared.
He gave me a book. Oh, yeah. Davi's going to spend some time trying to look through the book tonight if she has some extra time.
Awesome.
Glad I
You
could
do.
remind you of that. See you guys later.
Bye.
We need to add
Bye.
the book. So we have a book on
The
something.
book is called Mare of the Dead Men.
Is it in Goblin?
Nair of the Dead.
Yes, Mare of the Dead Men. It is not in Goblin. It's in Common. And to kind of look through it, Davi, roll an investigation check.
Okay. Get back to that page. Investigation. No.
Look through
Well,
it.
It's a book.
It's really dense. It's a history book, and it is definitely written for the super nerdy scholar. It's not, it's a
Oh, it's
very
for Leo?
dry read. It's a very factual read.
Davi will
And-
go find Jackie, our scholar,
Our scholar.
assassin.
It's our murderer.
He is.
murderer
Listen,
person.
I checked, guys. Jackie has the highest int. Like,
Oh yeah, by
he's your
far.
murder scholar.
Because he is the smartest person she knows.
Oh.
He's vastly more intelligent than everybody else in the party.
And she will
you're
say,
all
Jackie,
like-
Jackie, look. Well, first of all, she'll knock on Jackie's door. There.
I will let her in.
Yay! Jackie, look. Irnan gave me this. The uncle had this.
Did you read it?
It's well,
Did you read it?
I tried. I just every time I do, I kind of keep falling asleep. Can you take a look at it, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Let me know what's in it, please.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's another
Because
thing.
I know
that
you're not going to let me
really-
down, Jackie. All right. So go back to her room and go to bed.
And Jacobus burns it.
No.
No.
Okay, Jacobus, if you want to check it out, you can roll an investigation check.
And
Right.
that's how you do it.
So, it is dry. You know, I mean, you've done a lot of reading in your time, and you have definitely read better. This author is just not. He's not very art. You know, he's not doesn't do a good job. Pretty poor teacher, but it gets the job done. It seems to be kind of an older book, and it's a history about the formation of the marshes. You find out that you know, back a long time ago, it was actually a forested area, much like, you know, the surrounding area in the material plane. And then in 615 DR, there was a big battle from the armies of Falorm. I don't know if I've given you guys that one before, which was kind of this alliance between a kingdom of dwarves, elves, and humans. It was actually called the Three Kingdoms. And there were a lot of orcs back then kind of in the area, and they kept trying to kind of push over and take over land. And currently they were actually fighting over this forested area. So things are kind of coming to a head here. And the Falorm went into what they thought was an abandoned keep. It was actually Iniarv. Did I give you guys that one? Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Iniarv's tower. They thought it was abandoned. According to history, you know, it had once been belonged to Iniarv, the Mage Royale of Uth Tower. But he had long since disappeared. There were a lot of rumors about what happened to him and this, that, and the other. He was sworn to the Uth Tower kingdom or whatever, and he just kind of vanished one day. He built this tower that was kind of like off away from the kingdom and just kind of, you know, vanished into the books of history. So the armies of Falorm, you know, found this ruined keep, and they were like, okay, well, this will be a pretty good stronghold to hold against the orcs. But while they were there, rumor has it that the king, who is actually King Uth the Seventh, who is a descendant of the kings of Uth Tower, discovered a crypt. And when he went down inside, he discovered Iniarv had actually taken on the form of a lich. Isn't that how it's pronounced? I actually wrote down the pronunciation somewhere and I lost it. Anyway.
I always pronounced it like, but I apparently am wrong.
Yeah, it's not
correct.
like.
It is not like.
So, lich. He had become a lich and down in the crypts, and King Uth, you know, discovering him and seeing all this power that he had amassed, pleaded with him. He said, you know, the orc armies are vast. They're overrunning us. You know, you could save so many lives. So please remember the oath that you made to my forefathers and fulfill it by helping us to take down these orcs. And then we will leave your keep and we will leave you alone. I won't tell anybody that you're here. You know, we'll leave you be. So Iniarv, being the twisted mind that he is now, they say, called the waves from the ocean and flooded the entire swamp. And he did indeed kill all of the orcs and all of their armies, but he also killed all of the elves and dwarves and humans, and very few managed to escape. It's said that because of the magic involved and just the, you know, vastness of this tragedy, that the swamps in the material plane have been said to be haunted ever since. After that, the moors were never really settled.
Sorry.
That's okay. Totally spooked me.
Somebody just rang our doorbell. Sorry, guys. We'll be.
Totally fine.
Bring your shotgun.
The moors were never really resettled after that. Oh my gosh, look at the dog.
Look
wiggle.
at that dog go.
I know, right? It's a guard
9
dog.
o'clock at night.
It's probably the kid down the street we're always hearing about.
Disaster girl.
Yeah, that's what she's called, Disaster Girl. I'm too interested in the dog. Anyway, so Yes. Okay. So after that, the moors have never really been resettled. People have come and they've often been chased off by ghosts and this, that, and the other, or otherwise chased off by these strange creatures that can only be described as being that in the book they're described as like being a blend of two creatures. These it looks like animals that have been experimented on in very cruel ways. For a while, there were trolls that managed to kind of take up residency. And then at one point, there was this kind of sudden surge of undead there as well, following like some kind of like magical activity. But all of this happened quite a while ago. It was years and years and years ago. More recently, the swamp has actually become the home of a black dragon and their cult. And that is as far as the history takes you.
Curious. I mean, not that it matters since I'm not anywhere near this book or reading it or anything like that. But is the history on the Feywild side or material plane side?
On the material plane, for sure. So.
Sweet.
Silence. Cool story, bro.
I will go to sleep.
Okay, I missed the last part of that whole thing, so I didn't get to take notes, so somebody else will have to enhance the notes with what you learned. There you go. I took notes on everything else. There you go. What I knew.
The last of it, Jacobus, is the last entry seemed to deal around like 1300 DR, and you guys are currently in like, I believe 1800-ish when you left the material plane. So it's a pretty old book. It's, you know, the most up-to-date information is still about 500 years ago. So
It's probably like 2200 by the time we get back there.
So, but yeah, you guys managed to have a successful long rest. You know, no interruption.
We did something right, guys.
Woo!
How many hit dice does one get back for a long rest?
Half of them.
Half of them?
Oh, so
Poor-
people need health?
Poor Jacobus.
No, you get full health, but you get half your hit dice back.
Right,
Yeah,
so if you started with 5
Okay.
and you used 2, you'd still get all of your hit dice back because you get half of 5 back.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, you get
Okay.
2 hit dice back.
Okay, well, in the morning, I'm going to fill everybody in on what
book.
I read it in the book, except he's going to refer to Inyarv as the Archmage and not say anything about the Lich factor.
Okay.
The Lich factor, like it's the it factor.
Yeah, that's the only modification that he's going to make to.
So,
Okay.
you know. Okay.
So,
I really needed.
Inyarv, the Mage Royale.
Well, it sounds like we need to go and find this tower. Is that on this side? No, the tower's not on this side, but the ruins here are on this side, right?
No, the ruins are in the prime material plane, and it sounds like the tower is intact here.
Okay, so we need to find the tower here.
Quick question, Caston.
Yes.
From the book, first of all, would Davi have caught any glimpse or reference to a lich
I don't
when
think so.
she was looking through it? And second
Given-
of all, can I do
Yes.
an insight check on Jackie because she was asking him to make sure that he told her the truth?
You can do an insight check on Jackie.
He didn't lie.
You just didn't
That's
say
fine.
anything.
He just
So-
omitted that he became a lich. That's it.
She's still inside checking.
I totally believe
Jackie
you. Jackie would never ever
would
lie
never
to me.
betray you. Jackie would never betray you.
Never lie to me. This is
Oh my god.
a heart of gold. He is the best.
Jackie,
He's
I
my
mean,
bud. He's my teacher. He's teaching me to stealth. He does right by me.
Love you
he's
too, Jackie.
he's
We
done
love
some
you,
questionable
Jackie.
things, but you're sure they were always for the right reasons. You know,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
They're
You know,
always
we're
for the
all
right
little off
reasons.
anyway. I mean, you know, none of us are
He's here
perfect.
for the right reason.
so yeah. You guys have no idea.
That was
This
the
I
best
don't
inside
think
check
he's here for
ever.
the right. I don't think
I
he's here
love
for
it.
the right reason.
I'm so glad I failed it. I'm honestly, that's great. I think this is awesome.
I'm gonna ask Yernan if he's intending to continue on with us or if he will be heading back to.
You're an old, well, I mean, I suppose that, and you do notice that, whereas yesterday he was kind of relieved and looked a little tired after a good night's, meditation because he's an elf. He is a completely different person. He's still a little withdrawn and a little kind of even keeled, like most of the Eladrin that you've encountered, even though he is more high elven, but he's definitely, it's definitely like a burden has been lifted from him. Well, I guess that depends upon if you consider me to be, if I could be of assistance in some way. It appears that you've gotten a lead here, and as I've expressed, I'm not overly familiar with the Unseelie Court or its geography in general, to be honest. But I would, if I can assist you, then I would gladly continue on.
All right, let's go.
Well, wait. Let's talk about some things then. I mean, I understand that clearly you were, had a focus on this one thing, but I mean, if you continue with us, I mean, there's been a couple times you sort of hung back and didn't really help out, and I mean, that's all good and everything. I know that you had some other stuff on your mind, but I mean, is it going to be more of the same? Or, I mean,
I have the benefit of being in a position where I serve no court. And I do know that while the Unseelie and Seelie courts tend to have their constant disagreements, I do feel that whatever is occurring here concerns both, concerns the very wellness of the Feywild as a whole. So while they will continue to have their spat, and while it is not my place to overstep those bounds or frankly even discuss with either court what is occurring in the other, the well-being of my entire people and culture apparently right now lies in your hands. And I felt that there was a need to kind of observe and see how capable you were, because the Autumn Queen appears to have put quite a bit of faith on you. And I suppose you could just say that I carry a healthy dose of skepticism, where she just came with blind faith, perhaps, or maybe there's something more that she knows that I don't. But up until this point, I did want to see what you were capable of without my assistance. But you seem to have at least a better grasp than anyone else that I've encountered on this situation. So certainly, I would love to aid you in any way that I could.
Thank God.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome. Well, then I'm fine, because I mean, we frankly could use. I mean, Rafferty is quite useful at filling in some things, as we found. But it's always good to have a little bit of somebody else who knows the lay of the land, as it were, a bit. Because this area is unfamiliar to us. I mean, quite completely.
I will confess that the area is unfortunately unfamiliar to me as well. It was not very recently that I actually came to the Unseelie Court from the Seelie Court. So this is my third time venturing out to fulfill my oath in these lands. So when it comes to the topography and navigation, I was able to find my way here because I could feel the pull of the Oathbreaker. But I'm afraid that I won't be a lot of use when it comes to offering you as a guide through the Unseelie Court. But I am fair in battle, not the best of my brotherhood, but I will do everything that I can to defend these people.
Okay, well then let's go ahead and set off towards. I mean, does anybody know where this is? Does Jackie have an idea of where it is?
Well,
So the book. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go on.
Oh, all I was going to say was I think that Davi and Jackie are both kind of familiar with the area in the prime material plane.
The you do get from the book that the Klex described the tower as being to the northwest. In the book, it describes Inyarv's tower as being east of the swamp. But given, if you make an intelligence check, Jackie.
Just
And
straight
Davi assist him.
intelligence.
Yeah, you can assist him.
Yes.
I imagine them putting their noggins together while they're doing this.
Literal foreheads.
He's my buddy.
Kame!
It's because he's my buddy.
So as you guys, kind of talk over this, it's like, well, those don't quite match up, and you're talking about the differences in the book. Jackie, you kind of think back
This dog.
to what you've been told over and over again, that because of the relationship between the Fae and the prime material plane, they're kind of mirrors of each other. And you think about the position of the sun here and your time in Waterdeep, and it seems that the more you think on it, the more it does seem to generally resemble what you know of the geography of the Sword Coast, but it seems almost like the cardinal directions have been tilted. Whereas, in theory, if you are where you think you are, if you continued south here, you would, and judging by the map that you saw in the Huntsman's Hall, if you continued south, you would encounter the Sword Coast. But in the material plane, you would travel west to encounter the Sword Coast. So when you kind of apply that tilting of the map, then it does place the tower in the same spot, being east of the swamp in the prime material plane and northwest of where you currently are in the Feywild.
Okay, so they figured it out. All right.
They figured it out. They know where they're going.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. And so I'm going to take up my normal spot in the front.
You'll be in the front.
Just to sort of find the best paths and things like that.
Okay. So you guys, go and you start getting together, head out, and Yurinen kind of stops as you start to head into the swamp, and he goes, I realize that, I am obviously at your lead, better than anyone as the Academy, but why aren't we taking the boat?
Oh, I guess we could take the boat.
To the boat!
Take the boat!
To the boat! Good idea.
I forgot we had a boat.
Honestly, we have had to make do with so little that we honestly did not remember that we even had it. You have no idea what we have come through.
I can only imagine.
So, awesome idea. Thanks for that, Iridan. Thumbs up. And let's go to the boat then.
Okay. You guys head back over to the boat, which seat 6. Though there are other boats around. There are others that are, moored to the docks and stuff. But the boat you brought here, seat 6.
Well, that's so Rafferty, Davi. Jacob has the Ring of Water Walking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1.
We should take 2
3,
boats.
4, 5. No, but we don't need to. We have 6 people. Wait, no.
No,
We have 7 people.
Yeah.
2 boats.
7 plus, but that includes not Jackie in a boat because he can walk on the water?
Well, I'd rather
he
sit in
could.
a boat instead of walking all that.
Does Davi count as like half a person?
Oh yeah, that's right. Davi can sit in somebody's lap. No. Okay, no, all right, 2 boats then. If there's another boat that we can commandeer, then let's go ahead and take 2 boats.
Okay.
2
So
boats.
you guys take 2 boats. How are you splitting the party?
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy.
All right. So Davi, Aerolith in one boat, and all the rest of the people in the other.
Well, Davi and Rafferty should be in the same boat. That's
Yeah,
not
because-
my boat.
Yeah, Jackie and Davi should split up in case we do get split up because we both know where we're going.
Okay.
So-
Yes,
and
and
Roth-
I am.
Davi will stay with Rafferty just because of the water situation.
Yeah, I'm sure that Rafferty is clinging to Davi at this point.
Leo will
So
go
once
whenever
we
both way doesn't have
discuss.
the paddle.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess that I will go in the boat with Davi, given my protective
Okay.
feeling
So-
toward her.
Girls in one boat, boys in the other.
Oh, that's right.
Us and Rafferty.
All right. Kiernan climbs in
I
Jacobus's
mean,
boat.
Rafferty is he's a very elfy looking fellow. So
We'll
there
take
you go.
Urinin with us just so Jackie doesn't try to kill him.
Cag, where are you?
I will hang out with wherever Jacobus is.
Oh,
Jackie
I
and
thought
Leo
it was
and
all about Rafferty. Okay. Or at least Davi did. Anyway.
thought they had a thing. I don't know. What I say?
I like to keep my relationships open.
Apparently, you're next,
Apparently.
Leo. Watch out.
Well, I know.
Okay.
Well, he has already offered to marry Earless, so there you go.
So, you guys hop into the boats. You have, the long poles, flat bottoms, whole deal. And we are going to do another skill challenge to get you guys, across the swamp. Thankfully, between, knowing where you're going and having encountered these things before and, having the boats to kind of make the trip, more quicker, you've set yourselves up for a successful journey. So, we're going to do 6 checks. You need to pass 5. Urinin can do one of them if you want. Yeah. So how are you guys, how are you leading the way?
How does this work again? Explain this again, because I don't recall. I recall kind of, but
So you can use any of your skills. You have to pass a certain unknown DC in order to be successful. You will get 6 attempts to check. You have to pass 5 of them. The same person can't use the same skill twice. So Davi can't perceive the water and perceive the sky, but Davi could perceive the water and you could perceive the sky for any air threats or something like that. It can be anything you want. You just have to justify it. I'm going to, Jacobus could use his history check from his knowledge of the swamp to, kind of maneuver around or whatever. So.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay.
If I very quietly and stealthily move us through the water, do I still get advantage because of velvet?
I missed the last part. Do you still get advantage because of?
My cloak?
We're gonna have to go with no. I don't think you can cloak the boat, unfortunately.
What if the boat has the hood pulled up?
It's like those little cars that have the little sunglasses and stuff on the front, or the little winky eyes.
So.
okay. Well, I'll go first since everybody's just. So I'm paddling or pulling. These are pole boats, right? You're using
Yeah. So you're
pull-off.
just kind of like gondola style.
All right, so I'm pulling the boats, and I'm going to use the boat that we're in, and I'm going to use survival to make sure that we're staying in deep enough water for the boats and all of that kind of
Okay,
jazz.
sounds good.
Davi will do
survival. I just roll survival, right?
Right.
Davi will do perception to keep an eye out on the water, make sure nothing's going to get Rafferty or the boats or anything.
Okay.
I will do nature to make sure we stay away from any Wow.
Oh, Davi.
So Davi falls asleep.
I'm going to notice that Davi is just dozing off. And
I tried to read that damn book, and it just got me all this. I'm just not, man.
And I'm going to look at the water too. Or I'll let somebody else look, but I'm going to point out that Davi's about to fall out the boat.
She's peering right down at the water. She's not looking out or anything. She's just going.
So on that note, I noticed Davi fucking sawing logs in her boat. I am going to be perceptive for my boat and kind of just make sure that there's nothing, they were not rolling into any traps or water elementals
Okay.
or
Look,
anything
grave
like that.
digging is hard work. I'm tired.
All right.
Thank God for Kaga.
Yeah,
All
thank
I can say. Oh.
Okay.
I can do acrobatics. I would think that I would need to have some pretty superior balance to stand up in this boat with everybody and
This is
pull
such
it
a
along.
stretch.
Do black flips on the boat to make it go faster?
Well, no,
But you know
but
what?
I mean,
I'll give it to you because you have to, you kind of have to make sure, you're pushing the right way and you don't tilt the boat. There's a lot to be
yeah,
balanced
there's a
there.
lot
I'll
to
give
it.
it to you.
Yeah. I see. I told you.
All right.
Can I sit very quietly in the boat and roll stealth?
Sure.
Yeah, because hey. But he doesn't do a
Okay.
very good job of
He does it in the most average way possible.
Averagely quiet.
His general
Okay.
philosophy is just to, blend into plain sight.
He's trying to be
Okay.
very quiet, but he keeps bouncing his leg and he's fidgeting.
You guys have one more. Rafferty can roll or Yernan can roll if you want them to.
Somebody do good.
Is Yearning good at anything?
I can roll a
You'll find
survival
out.
check. I mean,
Cat never did
Yernan.
do the.
Does
Cat
anybody
never
have
did do his nature thing.
navigational proficiency, navigation tools, or anything like that?
I'm trying
that
to
would
give
be
other
survival,
people a
I think.
chance
I
to
mean,
do something.
Survival would be it.
If you
And I
guys
already
want,
rolled survival
There's,
on
there's
myself.
actual navigational tools and like vehicle proficiency and stuff you can have.
if you guys want, Yernan can, as the person pushing the other boat, he can kind of do the same thing as Yerla to make sure that you guys, keep it smooth, not tilting it too much in the side and the other, or somebody else can roll.
I mean, let's have Yernan try what is it, acrobatics that we decided that would be.
Yep.
that way if he fails, we can all blame him, not
Yeah,
each
that's
other.
All right, he got a 27. So
Okay.
Wow.
Fuck.
He keeps us on track.
So he's
Flip right
even
there.
better at pulling that boat than I am.
he
He's
does.
literally
You
doing
do.
backflips.
Let's see
He's
who's in his
like-
boat.
He's dancing and pulling the boat down.
Oh, he was in the same boat as you. Okay, well, I guess you guys take turns then or something. Anyway, you do notice that he appears very athletic.
Yernan
when he
didn't
got
come
a
in the boat
certain-
with us, did he?
I thought he did. I thought Davi
Yeah, he
said he
did.
was
I
with you
said he
guys.
was going to be
Oh.
on the boat with
They
us.
leave Yearning behind.
As you
No.
guys make this journey, Davi, he actually, Yernan looks to you one point and says, "So, you're a priest then?"
Yeah. Martha
What god do-
Morduin.
Martha Morduin. I don't believe I've heard of him. I apologize.
Have you ever heard of the Traveler?
Traveler. Do you know anything else?
No. Not a whole lot. I just need to find out some information about him.
I'm afraid I don't. Do you believe it's something to do with a pantheon or a god or a power?
I kind of get the feeling, but I don't know for sure.
There are a number of priests back in the Autumn Court. One of them may be able to assist you and know more than I do. My goddess is Shivarash, and I can I know about them, but I don't. I'm afraid that I'm not familiar with a traveler god per se.
Okay. Well, I'll keep asking.
So, and that's about it for Yernan and his charismatic small talk. So,
Hey,
he's
Dobby likes him now. Yeah.
he's definitely more relaxed for the journey, but he's got a little bit of that awkward vibe, like he doesn't get out a whole lot, doesn't seem to have any friends, but he does his part this time.
Now
So.
he's got friends. How sweet.
Oh my god.
No, it doesn't.
Well, Dobby thinks he does.
He's got Dobby. Everybody needs a Dobby in their life.
And correction.
100%.
Hey, look,
true.
buddy, you hid in my cleavage. You're stuck with me.
Successfully.
So, you guys managed to have a successful journey, you know. Thankfully, all of these things that are lurking around the swamp aren't trying to be particularly stealthy. You know, you pass by a number of ghosts. Zabi, you know, offers rights
That's
to
my
those who will
thing.
take them. The undead shamble here and there, but you can usually hear them. You know, they're not a quiet lot. You know, the same with the orcs. You often you don't catch sight of a lot of people. You know, you just kind of steer this way and that. You know, managing to kind of stay away. And you manage to make it to the tower within a day's time. You actually see the tower first, towering over the treetops in the distance as you make your way forward. It seems to be about 70 feet in height. And you're immediately struck by how curious the composition of it is. The majority of it is exactly what you'd expect from like an ancient abandoned tower. The gray bricks have kind of like got these streaks of black from where, you know, like pitch and tar and other things have kind of like run down and discolored it. In different places, you have like these gaping, yawning holes where the mortar has crumbled and the bricks have fallen away. The roof at this point barely exists beyond a few stray shingles that are kind of clinging to what remains of the rafters. But the weird thing about it is in these places where these inadequacies exist, these parts of crumble and decay, the vacant spaces have been filled with this kind of a blue, translucent, ethereal material, a lot like what you saw, like Jacobus, which you and Cog encountered with the weapons and the goods that the ghosts seem to possess. It's almost like the translucentness has filled in to make the tower whole once more. As you get even closer, you find that the tower actually resides inside an enclosed courtyard that's framed by these thick walls that are also composed of brick and these ethereal elements. There's a single entrance that's in the front that is flanked by two ghostly guards, and the portcullis has been raised, and from the base of it dangle two tangible corpses spinning slowly by their necks. The fort and everything, you guys actually kind of reach the edge of the swamp, and it does appear as though the tower and the courtyard and everything are not in the swamp proper. They are on solid ground just beyond the edge of the swamp. So,
Those corpses were in the courtyard.
they're dangling from the gate, like right at the entrance. Just like you've got the ghostly guards on either side, and these are tangible corpses with, you know, ropes around their neck that are just dangling, kind of spinning ever so slightly.
Okay.
Cog,
Do
wake
these
up.
guards seem hostile or?
Oh, I'm muted. I was trying to talk. Can we identify race at all?
You can make a perception check. Dobby, you can make an insight check.
Sorry.
Not forgiven.
No, they don't seem particularly hostile. They frankly look kind of like bored guards on guard duty, much like you would see just going into any kind of kingdom or anything. Cog, they're orcish, and you do notice that they have the same red band along their arm as the others you've encountered.
So I inform
That's the
everyone.
bodies or the guards?
The bodies. The ghosts look human.
So I inform everyone that those are orcs hanging, and they are from the same clan as the orcs that we have been encountering.
Oh dear.
Dobby will offer the ghosts.
Well, hold on. Before you
Oh.
bash them on the head, maybe we should talk to them.
Try.
Cool.
Okay.
So we're gonna
So you guys,
stroll up to the gate because there seem to be no other threats about,
nope, not that you can notice.
and be like, "Gentlemen, how are you?"
Hmm? I mean, as well as anyone is these days, I suppose. How was the battlefield?
It's going very well in our favor. actually.
Oh, that's promising. Do you think we'll make it home before fall?
It's hard to tell. You know how these things are; they can be drawn out when someone sets in.
We get mixed reports every day, you know.
Well, yeah, I can understand that.
Has there been any activity in the tower?
You know, he kind of gestures up at the bodies. The occasional orc coming through, you know, but I suppose we've managed to get them all, we believe, you know. I heard the captain saying that he thought these might be scouts, but, you know, we had to trudge out into the forest to catch them, but we did manage to. So hopefully they don't know.
That's good
The
that
kings,
you caught.
yeah, the kings keep meeting inside, so I imagine that if they, you know, they came to know where we are, that would, we would see them in some number coming this way.
Yeah.
So
you done with your question?
Then I kind of gesture at the orcs hanging from there. It's like, when did these folk come by?
It was quite a bit ago, you know, perhaps a week.
Like, do they look a week old?
They look older.
Interesting. So they're like rotted and just starting to rot and
Yeah,
bloated and all.
they're definitely starting to decay and bloat a little bit. Make a nature check or a medicine check. Make a medicine check. Okay, you know, I mean, they look older. You're not sure how much older. You know, less than a month, more than a week. You know.
Okay.
The time you definitely sense a time inconsistency, but it does still seem to all kind of be in time with the general timeline you were given by Klex and Yag. So
did you boys hang him up there?
no, I mean, I tried to avoid being on the wall as much as possible. Plus, and he kind of gestures over to where you see one of the blue fillings of the wall. You know, everything's so crumbled and falling apart here. You know, I mean, I guess it's better than being out in the open in the forest, but you know, I didn't want to be the one to have to climb up there. You know, Frederick was actually climbing the other day, and you know, some of the wall just crumbled right from under his feet. It's, you know, they've tried to do some repairs, but it seems like nothing sticks.
So, do you know who climbed up there to hang these folk up?
No, I can't say that I do. That probably someone inside probably does, though. I mean, it's why are you asking?
Just curious.
I can, if you need to know how to tie a noose, I can teach you how to do that.
No, actually, it's probably not a bad bit of information. I can't say I've ever done that before.
Oh well, you know, it's not too hard. It takes a little bit of practice. Got to make sure you don't let the other end slip through as you're tying it and everything. But it's a pretty simple knot. Do you have any experience with knots?
Some minor experience, mostly with setting traps and that sort of thing. Nothing for the bound target, I suppose.
Oh well, you know, after I finish my shift, if you're going to be lingering for a bit, I can teach you.
Yeah, maybe over a drink.
Sounds like a plan.
Who's in charge in here?
The kings. They're meeting. Well, I suppose you would say the king. I guess it depends upon what you're trying to do. You know, we answer to the captain generally, but you know, the kings come and go some, but the big, you know, the big fancy tent in there, they've been meeting quite regularly. I suppose the orders really come from them, but it's not. I mean, it's not like I'm ever going to get an audience with the king. So.
Well, fair enough. I can't say that any of us would. Look at the rest of the group, see if there's anything they're curious about before Davi bops him on the head.
Davi's just waiting.
She's like chomping at the bit back there. Let me at him.
So.
Davi will offer him both a blessing from Martha Morduin. See him on a safe path.
As you offer out your blessing, they're both like, "Oh, I appreciate it, but we've got our own priest that's sending us inside. But you're I don't believe your king's here right now, but he'll probably be back in a bit if you want to wait, or you've whatever business you have.
Fair enough.
You see them starting to kind of eye Jacobus and Urlith, a little curiously, but they don't really seem to say anything.
They're working with us.
All right. Well, enjoy your stay, I suppose. I mean, it is a battlefield, but it's better in here than it is out there. So
Yeah. We'll head on in.
All right. I'll let you guys ride on in. Inside, the courtyard is bustling. You do notice that it's mostly human. You see a stable and a blacksmith and a lot of just kind of like rudimentary structures put up, all preparing for battle. All of it is the same kind of ghostly scene material. Nothing much concrete. The stable area, you see like some poles that are still stuck into the ground, but most of it has been completed out of the blue ghostly stuff. Seeing past all that, it is very, very much a ruined landscape. You find ghosts sitting on boxes, some eating, several small fires. A couple of people are actually holding these the real tangible orc weapons and examining them and discussing. You see a couple of people that are more finely dressed, discussing strategy and kind of walking about. A couple of people playing cards. It's definitely just kind of a cliche feel of this a group of a battlefield of soldiers that are currently off duty and just kind of waiting for orders, waiting for things to begin. You are able to clearly identify where the kings have been meeting. There are some kind of cruder tents, and then there's this one also ethereal that's just larger, and it's got stripes and it's more ornate, and it definitely stands out as finer material and definitely a cut above the rest of the individuals that are here. But and you were also able to very quickly notice the entrance to the tower that is near the back of the courtyard. The door is open and it's unguarded. And it seems to be the most tangible thing in this area, the thing that has the most pieces of it remaining.
Okay.
So where to first?
Can we kind of look around and see, if there's anything of note in the courtyard with the ghosts going on? And Davi will talk to whoever she can and offer them blessings.
Okay.
Does everybody
Wait,
this?
but as
Rose?
Davi goes through and bops people on the head, can I make sure they're not somebody who looks important-ish before she
Sure.
erases the plot?
Anybody that looks like they might be other than just a grunt guard, she'll point out to Kaga first.
Like if there's a dude with a crown walking by, Kaga's gonna jump in the way.
Do it to the kings.
Be like,
So,
Jeez.
Davi, you go up to the first group that's, kind of over to your left, and it's just these two guys, and they're just kind of munching on these not invisible, but, these fake turkey legs. And, you ask one of them, would you like a blessing? And he's like, why, sure, that'd be great. I can take all the luck I could get out here. And as you go and you touch him and he dissipates, you watch as the guy across from him, his face just like, holy shit, what did you do?
well, we're about to have a ghost revolt.
Oh my god, what did you do?
He's here. He's just on his path. It's okay.
What are you? What? And you can just see his mind exploding as he just stumbles from words, stepping up, just complete another shock as to what's gone on.
The desire for me to yell, kill the witch, is so high right now.
That's so amazing.
James, speak to me.
He's right. I can show you. He's right here.
So you reach out. Do you offer a blessing to this guy as well?
Yeah.
And he also dissipates. And this time nobody seems to notice.
Okay.
Thank goodness for
She'll
that.
be a little more careful. Next time she'll do it jointly if there's somebody sitting right there watching.
Okay.
Lessons
Cog,
learned.
Cog, roll a perception check.
Oh shit. Why is all the text so small?
Okay, so you wonder about Davi meeting people, kind of getting the lone wolves now, to kind of disperse them instead of, people who are hanging out together. She doesn't encounter anybody who seems too important. You kind of listen in a little bit to what they're talking about. You are able to gather a few things. These people are obviously very stuck in the time period that they came from. They don't appear to believe that they have been here for too long. They do feel that they know that there have been a lot of skirmishes and that they expect that things will be coming to a head. They do feel grateful to be in the keep because they feel that they are better guarded. And you do gather that the completed points of the tower, they don't seem to, they believe they are still living in a ruin. Whatever it is that is creating this, the holistic picture of the keep. They talk about, well, it'd be more defensible if we could fix those, the holes in the wall, but I guess we don't really have the materials for that. And they are in the same way that that the guard referred to the forest and not the swamp. Their reality seems to be different from yours.
Okay. I mean, is the tower that we see in the same state of ruins? That maybe I missed that.
So the tower that you see is ruined, but where the holes are, like, it's like the top. If you're looking at it, the top right part has kind of, a chunk has kind of like slid off and come down. There are holes in other places, but for you see that, and there's the ruined tower, and then there is like the kind of ethereal ghostliness, whatever it is, whatever magic is occurring that has completed the tower once more, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you see that, you see both paradigms, whereas the ghosts who are occupying this place appear to see only the ruin.
Okay.
Though they do have their boxes and everything that you see them interact with.
Does this place feel different at all? Like, does it feel unnatural? Like maybe we're crossing over planes?
You can roll an Arcana check.
Oh, that's gonna not go well.
Or ask your friendly neighborhood magic users to roll an Arcana check.
Hey, Leo.
What?
Does this place feel odd to you? Like, is there?
Are you talking except for the fact that everything is see-through and there's ghosts around?
Yeah, kind of in that vein. Like, does it feel like, I don't know, like we're spanning across two planes at all? Does it feel weird?
Do I feel like I'm spanning across two planes? I think K-Guy's called me fat.
I don't know. I don't do the arcane thing. Do you feel tingly?
Do I feel tingly?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I feel tingly?
You can roll Arcana with advantage because we're going to assume Rafferty would help you out here. We'll put Sesneg to use.
Oh God!
I see what I'm. Let's see.
I don't know why you assume.
I don't want to
that
know
he
where
would
you
help
feel
us.
tingly.
So advantage.
Yes.
Thank God, because you need to check them tingles out.
You can't quite put your finger on it, but your spider sense is indeed tingly,
Aha!
As you kind of start to look around and try to figure out. You look around and try to kind of figure things out, and you notice that there seem to be kind of like some inconsistencies to the grass even, like some of it just seems like less lush and a little more dull, in spots. And then, looking back out the gate, you see the swamp, but the trees aren't quite as tall or as full, and you don't see your boats. There's something weird going on here, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is.
Wait a minute, he can't see the boats?
He can't see the boats.
Is he alerting anybody else to this so that maybe somebody else can look around and
Nope.
do some? Oh crap!
Yeah, I mean, this seems to be some kind of focal.
Some kind of what? Nope, totally lost you.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
He has gone over to a different plane.
voice.
There we go.
I
We
hear
got you
you
back.
fine.
We got your
Ah.
voice back.
You're sitting next to me. Of course, you can hear me fine.
I can't find 3D.
I lost everybody though. Let me reload.
I mean, this seems to be some kind of spot where the plains meets more than the rest of the swamp. Maybe
So you do feel tingly.
always.
I get that all the time.
I don't want
So
your
I think it's
tingle.
athlete's foot, though, mostly. At this point.
All right. So we've been walking around. We don't see anyone that stands out.
Nobody with a crown.
nobody with a crown. You do see some people who are in nicer armor. You know, there are a couple of them actually gathered together.
Is there
over this
anybody
side.
that looks kind of see-through-ish, right?
They all? Did you wait? Say that one more time. Sorry, you broke
They're
up
all
for a
kind
second.
of transparent.
They are. They
Are they
all look
more
ghostly.
substantial, or they all kind of same level?
No, all the same level. You do see a group of 3 individuals over to the side who are dressed in finer plate. You know, hold themselves a little higher, appear to speak a little more articulately. But yeah, for the most part, right now, it seems to be just kind of foot soldiers. You know. Oh,
I think Tab has started rapping. Not sure.
You're,
What?
you're breaking up.
Who's breaking up?
You are
We're
breaking.
married. You're not going anywhere.
You can't break up.
He's back. Oh, God.
I don't remember what I was saying, so let's move on.
so
Okay. So what are we doing?
Can I go peek inside the open door?
sure. At the tower,
Yeah.
can make a perception check.
Oh, come on. I'm not the one that should be doing this.
Yet you keep doing it.
Unfortunately, I was really just kind of messing with you. It's empty. I mean, you know, there. You go in, and
What would the failure state of that have been?
you know, it does it. So inside the tower, it appears to be used kind of mainly as this ghostly storage room. You see boxes and bags that are kind of lined the walls. You do see that there is a spiral staircase that's kind of built into the wall that appears to be ascending upward. You know, it kind of wraps around the tower about halfway, and then it appears to have kind of crumbled. And it is now it's taken over by the blue ghostly kind of stairs. But otherwise it's empty. You know.
Is there anything going down?
Not that you can see. Not just by kind of peeking in and looking around.
I have a question. Does everybody see the swamp rose still? Or has something gone awry
Yes.
on my side?
Everyone
Okay.
has a swamp rose.
Yeah.
All right,
don't-
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't supposed to be seeing something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to start going up the stairs until the blue spot.
Okay.
Do we know he
Yeah, I
has
don't know.
left?
He didn't stealth off, so yes.
All right, I guess we're all going to be standoffish and not really do anything about it. If he screams, so I guess we can go find him.
Okay. You go on
Yeah.
up the stairs. You don't, there's nothing up there. You assume that at some point there was a landing, maybe another floor, but it's, right, it's pretty well crumbled at this point.
Can I test my foot on the blue ethereal?
You reach
stair?
out, kind of try to put your foot, and your foot just sinks straight through.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Acrobatics check.
I'm gonna.
What are the rest of you guys doing?
Milling about aimlessly downstairs, booping
Yeah.
ghosts on the head.
Downstairs or in the courtyard?
Little
We're just
Dobby.
making sure Dobby doesn't piss off everybody else at the same time.
Dobby will start singing "Little Bunny Foo Foo," hopping through the forest, and up the field mice and popping them on the head.
And Blake.
No.
Okay,
So make a game out of it.
so
You look around, the only thing of any real substance that remains here, aside from, some pieces of the wall, is indeed the tower that Jacobus has entered.
there's no ghostly tent or anything.
I mean, there are ghostly things, but when it comes to things that you can successfully interact with from your experience, the towers about it. There are a number of very small camping tents, just kind of like the little A-frame pitches where it appears that a lot of the soldiers are sleeping. There's the big fancy tent that looks like somebody obviously has more money than everybody else here. Looks more lavish, more spacious. But yeah, pretty much everything. Most of
Maybe I cut out.
Yeah, I think you must have. Most of the landscape and everything is ghostly.
I guess we go into the tower. Can I do?
Didn't
Is
Jacobus already walk up the tower?
He did,
Jacobus walked up the stairs.
and then his foot went through blue light or something.
Yeah, he tried to step onto the blue stair, and it doesn't have substance for you guys. It appears.
What happens if Davi turns undead on the tower?
I'll offer the tower release.
She's
Okay.
going
Then
to
it
offer
falls
the
around
tower
our
a
heads and
hand
we all
job.
die.
So are you actually doing that? I mean, you can,
There's
No.
and there's no downstairs to the tower. There's no basement level.
Not that we could see.
Not that Jacobus noticed when he walked in.
Is Jacobus back?
Can
Jacobus stay there?
There's no flashing neon sign that says basement.
Can I go in there and investigate for anything
You sure can.
I'd
interesting?
like to come down the stairs and help him.
Okay.
I already have advantage.
Pull all the torches.
Well, aren't you special?
So
Why, hello.
you kind of you start looking around and you kind of trace your hand along the wall trying to figure out, because you remember that Jacobus mentioned like somewhere like a downstairs where this NER was supposed to be, and you come around to where the base of the stairs meets the tower wall. You have the stairs that go up, and then I guess what would be like the back of the stairwell, and it kind of forms this corner. And over there you notice that the bricks are a little bit of a different color, almost like they're not as aged as the rest of the tower. Like perhaps these were laid in a newer era of sort. And you also notice that on the back here there is there's kind of a stain. It looks like it was there was something, and then it's kind of been like crudely cleaned up or scrubbed off, maybe.
I taste it.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Poop or chocolate?
You can.
Poop
I
or
support
chocolate?
you.
All right, so something's been bricked over, something's been cleaned up. There are live orcs hanging from wherever. Anyone have a hammer?
I mean, there might be other ways to
I have a war hammer.
open it.
And I'll hold my comments till the end.
Can I try pushing on it?
Sure, go push on it.
or like looking for like a switch of some kind.
Listen, I crit investigation. If there's a switch, I
Yeah,
surely
like
wouldn't have missed it.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask. I mean, if there was a way to open it or whatever, I think that he would have found it.
Well, but I mean, I think you're suggesting that something or somebody is here presently that hung these orcs. So I mean, they didn't brick themselves in, I don't think.
Or did they?
I'm gonna try pushing it.
Okay.
Or like pulling out bricks or whatever.
Okay, you go, you kind of mess with the bricks and you push, you pull, you see, they don't seem to wiggle. You do see what Cog's talking about. It looks like there's something different here, but that doesn't seem to be what it is. It doesn't strike you as a typical door.
All right, who's got a hammer?
I have a war hammer. You call that a hammer?
Jacobus, make a perception check.
Now that I wasted my 18 perception, let's try again.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, it's just not budging.
I'm gonna say wind wolf.
And the door does nothing.
They only have one password in the entire Feywild.
It was worth a try, all right.
Okay, so what were the things I noticed? There's a stain.
There's a stain. It appears to have been washed away in some manner. Wiped away, washed away.
Obviously not prestidigitated because we wouldn't have been able to notice it.
And by stain, I mean not like not a lot of the tower I've said is stained. It's kind of like aged, but this is definitely something, some kind of material that has been smeared on the brickwork, and you can see where like the drips where it is kind of like run away since then. It's got kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a deep red, like a burgundy kind of color
Like
to
a
it.
blood?
You can roll a perception check.
Oh, I would.
Well, again,
could
you
I
don't know,
maybe
Jacobus.
could I investigate that?
He's going to taste it.
If you would like to taste it or smell it or do something to investigate it, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'll smell and lick it.
Okay.
For like there, sure.
Jacobus is invested.
Yeah.
It's definitely blood. You can smell the iron. Not going to go the taste route. It tastes like old brick, but it's definitely blood.
I'm gonna slice my hand open and press my hand with blood against the thing.
Okay. As you press your hand, you do see that the bricks kind of begin to give off this light glow. You notice that there's definitely a magical element at work here, but they don't part.
Can I roll for
They
what
just
the
kind of
fuck?
seem to vibrate. They kind of vibrate almost. You can tell that you're closer. You're eliciting some kind of reaction, but you don't. There seems to be something missing.
Abracadabra.
Nothing happens.
So we're
Cog,
clearly missing something.
Yes.
Cog, roll a perception check for me.
Come on, perception check. Yeah.
So you're watching, as Jacobus does this, and you can tell that there are parts where the what you now know to be blood, where it looks like they had where it looks like the stain that has been longer than other parts, if that makes sense. Like you can tell that there was some sort of design here at some point, and it dried a little bit, and then it was washed away, and you have what's left.
Like a pattern of some sort
Yes,
in blood.
in blood.
Okay, so what do I need to draw with my bleeding hand?
Jesus, how did you even put that together?
What?
The fucking bleeding thing.
Well, there
He
was
licked
blood
the
on the
wall.
But yeah, but someone could have just been killed here.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I considered splattering somebody else's blood there, but I'm trying to be nice.
All right, fair enough. Okay. So there's a pattern, and hey, Talia, does this kind of resemble any arcane symbols you've seen before?
Are you asking me?
Are you not Leo?
I didn't hear what you said. You cut out.
Are we down there?
I'm not, as far as I know.
Are you? Dobby, you could have followed them. You could still be,
If there's still people to release up there, Davi will not be down there. She'll be busy.
There
Are you going to
a lot
empty the
of
whole
people.
courtyard of people?
Okay. She's working on it.
The last 5 might suspect something.
Where'd everybody
honestly, only about 15 to 20% of them really seem interested. A lot of them are just kind of grizzled and they're like, nah, waving off the dwarf, but
But you won't force it on anybody.
Were there
But you
any
do.
symbols in the
You do
book?
make that. Which book? Because you've been doing a lot of reading lately.
Well, I mean, I was kind of thinking of the book that talked about Inyar's Tower, Mare of the Dead Men.
You saw some in there. They mostly dealt with like the old symbols of the kingdoms. The ones like the sigils that you saw on people's armor. But nothing about any RF you gathered was older than this battle. Obviously, nothing about a sigil specific to his kingdom or his time.
But this magic door came later, and
You don't know.
um,
You do know, okay, how about this? For clarification about the brick difference. It does appear that when the original tower was constructed, these bricks were not part of that construction, but they still look really old. It doesn't look like they were made within the past month. It still looks like they were made hundreds of years ago. So it is not, they're definitely not recent history. Maybe like an addition to the house, so to speak.
I mean, can I so it's at the base of the stairway, you said?
The base of the back of the stairs. Yeah.
Okay, so the base of the back of the stairs.
Okay. So you've got the stairs that go up, right?
Yes.
And then they are built like right up against the wall. And then you have like the supporting flat part right here to hold it up aloft for a while, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So here it meets like the curve of the tower.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here on this back part of the stairs. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's against the flat. It's not against the curve.
Yes, it's against the flat.
Okay. So I still say we break it.
I mean, fill your boots swinging a hammer at it while I try to figure out what symbol I need to draw, I guess.
Well, somebody go get Leo.
Somebody. Who that somebody? There are two of you.
There's literally two of you there. One of you saying, somebody go get him.
Leo! I'm going to call out to him. Leo!
Talking to me?
Jacob, let's roll an intelligence check.
Leo will stick his head in the door? Gate?
It's just wide open. Okay.
The arch?
So you start racking your brain. You have done a lot of research, and a lot of it has come in handy since you've headed down this way. You start thinking about lichhood. You've got this the lich that you encountered in the Mayor of the Dead Men. It's not the first lich you've read about, though. You recall in your earlier readings, you also encountered a lich there. And you start trying to think about, okay, well, what do I know about symbols that are utilized.
So is there any runes or anything down there, or are we just...
Poor Jacob.
So, Leo, look at the smudged symbol here on the floor. Does that look anything like...
I look at the smudged symbol on the floor.
On the door?
On the floor?
Or, the wall?
Yeah, on the wall, whatever.
The wall.
Does that
Okay.
look familiar to you at all?
No. Probably not. I think about it. And then... I don't know.
All right, good talk. Good talk. I'm glad you were able to participate in this.
Did you roll?
Nope.
Well, what am I supposed to roll?
You can roll. What are you asking him, Cog? Are you asking if it's like a magic rune?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Roll
it's
an
fucking
Arcana check.
open sesame in Celestial or some shit.
Oh my gosh.
I do speak Celestial.
It is not any rune you've ever encountered. You're pretty sure this is not a magic rune.
Jesus.
That's
All right.
probably the name of the guy that owns the tower.
It does look like a very intentional design, but it's not one that you've encountered in Magic for sure.
What do you want a rune for?
I mean, I don't want a rune. I want this.
I got other runes for magic.
So these bricks are possibly magic. They glowed when
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I know the symbol for Orcus?
You do. That was in the book.
I'm going to draw the symbol of Orcus with my blood.
And as you draw the symbol of Orcus, the bricks
Felix
slowly
Warlock.
dissipate, revealing an archway leading down into another
Oh,
set of
shit.
stairs.
Someone
See, you knew it.
might
What
want
am
to
I?
get the others.
Right? You go out and you find Davi and Eurolith and
Okay.
Rafferty's somewhere, and Yernan.
I was
Yernan's
having a
hanging out.
revival meeting somewhere out there.
Okay, so I guess are we all gonna go down together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go in because I've been summoned now.
All right. So what's your marching order?
I'm gonna bring up the rear.
Okay.
Oh, now she wants to be at the back.
yeah.
I am
Before she was
a
like, I'm a-
archer. I've got to be at the back.
I'm a
It's been my
tank.
spot everywhere we've gone.
Hey,
But
no.
now we're going down creepy stairs to the guy from Orcus.
I'm gonna be
Hey!
up front.
I don't think you
Leo's
need
up
my
front.
ranger skills to go down some stairs. I be leading the path out in the woods. I'm fine with that, but creepy
Davi will go up
stairs
front.
are not my jam.
I'll be up front
Actually-
as well.
I don't have a problem going up front if we want
You
to.
know, we're not in the swamp. Can we please take about like 5 minutes and let me change into my plate mail?
It's probably not a bad idea.
Because if I'm going to go face a freaking lich, I would
Well,
kind of like
We
to.
don't know.
But even the chance of it.
Yeah. Yeah, suit up.
Because
Whatever's coming.
Jackie has left that fact out. I'm
Yeah,
just
no.
gonna say.
He doesn't love us. That's all there
No,
is.
no,
I thought he did.
Absolutely, you should suit up. We're about to go through a door that was opened by magic to go
Using a
down
demonic
into...
symbol. If
Using a
that's-
symbol in blood.
Yeah.
All right, I'm suited up.
Okay. So Davi, Leo, Cog, and Jacobus have all volunteered to go first. So who's going first?
Earlith.
Not Earlith.
Dobby is
Earlith-
going to also use her shield.
Actually,
Okay.
Everybody else takes a
Oh.
step back, so you're in front.
hey, I have a question for the DM
Okay.
because, so given that my that my preferred enemy is undead, and two, because of the ranger and primeval awareness, would I be able to detect the differences between undead, or at least recognize that some undead might be stronger than others if they're in close enough proximity to me?
That's
Because
a really good question. I'll have to check the.
The guy that hits you harder?
When I was doing primeval awareness last week, you just said you feel all kinds of undead everywhere because all the ghosts
Yes.
were registering as undead. But shouldn't there be some
Does-
variance?
well, I
Like,
mean,
doesn't
does the
say.
ability say
Yeah.
that there is?
Yeah, I have to find the ability to see.
hold
It
on.
just says you're aware of them.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
Uh,
It's supposed to be like a. Where are the people I hate?
Yeah, I think unfortunately it's just kind of a feel in the vicinity. So under most normal circumstances, if you were trying to like locate undead, you know,
This feature reveals, let's see, you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles. It reveals which of your favorite enemies are present,
Yeah,
their
undead.
numbers, and the creature's general direction. I mean, I would argue that which would indicate that I would be able to tell.
That's
the
because you have
difference
several.
between-
You can have several favorite enemies. You can have undead, and you get to pick more later.
If there are multiple groups, within range, you learn this information for each group. Okay. Okay. But I mean, there's other things that about primeval awareness, like a powerful link to the beasts in the land around you. I mean, let's see.
The undead are not beasts.
Give me just a second. I'm looking here. Yeah. I mean, I just didn't know what it would. I mean, how beneficial it actually was.
I mean, in a case where you were like, if the Revenant had been, you know, like not unfortunately surrounded by a literal army of undead, would have been like, it would have, you know, you would have been able to go straight to them.
It's very handy in situations where you're not actually walking up and talking to the ghosts,
Right.
because you're aware that they're there already
Right.
at that point.
But I was more like trying to see if it would be useful to try to detect, more
Of what
big
you're coming up
bads.
against.
Yeah, more big bads than like, our friendly little ghosts. So okay.
So,
There we
Urinin, you know, would volunteer to be near the front as well. You know, he's in plate like
Put
Dobby
urine
and
in
you
the
would
front. That's
say.
a great idea.
Let's put
Dobby's
urine
got
in
her
the
shield
front.
out too for this.
Let's urine walk like 10 feet in front of everybody else, see what happens.
Okay, so who's going first?
Dobby and Urinin, I guess.
Okay, so we'll have Davi, and then Urinin,
Okay.
Cag.
Unless Jackie's going to stealth ahead.
Just put me somewhere where people stop shouting in front. I'm between everybody else that's in front.
We never
Okay.
stick you up front.
We'll put Leo in the middle, and Rafferty back with you. Fearless taking up the rear. And I guess, do you have anywhere you want to be, Jacobus, or do we put you in between Cag and Leo?
Sure.
Or you can sneak behind Urla. She may not notice.
No, I'll
Probably
go
wouldn't
between
notice.
Tag and Leo.
Okay, so You guys start to head down into this spiral that appears to be, heading down into the depths. You notice that hanging from the ceiling, there are these lanterns that are lit by these small blue glowing objects. But the lanterns are swaying as these little blue things, whatever they are, seem to be kind of like knocking against the glass. They're definitely kind of unsettling it and swinging it, casting this kind of like shifting light against the walls. You descend for quite a bit, spinning around several times, 2, maybe 3 stories deep into the ground. And ultimately, you come to this little landing at the bottom. It's pretty small. Most of you are left kind of on the stairwells. 2 or 3 of you managed to fit there. And you were able to see this archway that leads into another room. This room is long and rectangular, kind of like a hallway, but wider. It appears to be about, like 15, maybe 20 feet wide. There is a surprisingly nice long runner that's going down the middle of it. It's got kind of like golden tassels around the edge. Definitely looks very nice. There are tall candelabras that line the hall going down. And in between each of them, there are a number of heads mounted to the wall and taxidermy creatures, but they're very odd. They appear almost monstrous. You have this one that's kind of close to you that looks like a cat, but it appears to have had like owl wings sewn onto its back, and it's kind of in this like, kind of prowling like state. Further down, kind of facing towards you, you see what looks like this ebony horse, but it's got a lion's face, and the mane seems to go down all the way down the neck. You see over here on another area this kind of like this weird amalgamation of like a ferret and a fox. And then way down the hall, you see what appears to look like a deer, but instead of antlers, it appears to have octopus tentacles kind of snaking from its head. All of their eyes look glassy, though. They are very still. They appear that they do appear to be, statues or taxidermy or some sort. They in no way appear alerted as you guys, kind of peek in through the door.
Can I see this or my position at all, or no?
Yeah, you can see it from where you are.
I mean, so I'm gonna.
So we are actually gonna.
How far away from it am I?
From the nearest animal.
Right.
The nearest one that you can see, given that you're in the back, probably about 25 feet. Just kind of like ducking down to look and see.
Can I adjust where I'm at to sort of move closer, because I want to take a look and see if I can determine whether this monstrosity, this kind of situation, if it was something that happened before or after they became taxidermy.
Before she tries to step forward, though, Davi will stop her and say, Jackie, why don't you try to check for traps?
So, unfortunately, given how tight the landing is, you can't really get around. And also, unfortunately, given that it's 11:41 and you've just entered your first dungeon, we're going to cut it here.
No.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Damn. Because I really wanted to know about those monstrosities.
The first dungeon. Did we discount those mines completely because we skipped
the dungeon that you just
underworld
briefly toured?
Underdark.
Given that the Woolstern tunnels or whatever, that you touched a whole like 1/10 of what was there,
I was gonna say, it really helps my anxiety when there's no battle map up. Makes me feel real good. I'm not worried about anything at that point.
Cass's shirt is great, by the way.
I know, right? Dude, I get so many compliments on this.
That's awesome.
So, dude, yeah. We'll save the battle map for next time. I mean, what battle map? You don't know. We'll see.
Puzzle dungeon.
Anyway, good job, guys. You got in.
Woo!
I would also like to congratulate Davi on not wandering off. It was a good job.
Pog, listen.
Hey, Cassa wants us to wander off.
So she can murder us.
A great tactic is insulting your priest right before you enter a dungeon.
Yeah,
Oh,
not a good idea.
I always
Nah.
prepare cure light wounds.
I don't know why you do that because Earlith has cure wounds too. I mean, if Davi should run out of spell slots or something like
You
that.
have like 2 spell slots.
I have 4 level 1 spell slots and 2 level 2 spell slots. Thank you very much. And I don't use very many spells.
I have 4 level 1s, 3 level 2s, and 2 level 3s.
Same.
I have layer actions and legendary actions, so.
You win.
So is this the spot where we get 2,050 experience?
Ooh, actually, yeah. Let me calculate experience.
Oh, she said
Not
yes.
quite 2,005.
It's very specific.
Weirdly specific there.
Let's see.
Yes, 2,050 is exact.
We
Cass is deciding how nice to us she's going to
Davi
be right
killed
now.
like 100 undead.
let's
Yeah,
boost everybody to 12,500. Except Rafferty, apparently.
Mer.
12,500 is where we should
Yeah.
be at.
So we're adding
that way I'm not
12,500 to our total.
Yes.
No.
We are now level 8 somehow.
Why is Rafferty not at the same level everybody is? I
He
forget.
didn't do the background thingy yet.
Oh,
12,000.
Because
So
he's a
he's missing out.
slacker.
slacker. I need to expand some of my stuff for you, Castabel, but
I mean,
and how to make
know-
some of this make sense for you.
it's just, yeah, I totally get that it takes time and everything. It's just to make sure that as we expand like individual characters' plots, I never want to, like force feed you guys character traits, like, by the way, Earlith, you have a fear of sand, and you're like, why?
That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
That's really all it's about.
Repressed
Yeah.
memories.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely reasons why
Traumatic
Earlith
childhood.
is not real